Everybody, you are watching Phoenix Dawn Command right here on the Saving Throw Show. We are in the middle of a very interesting arc here in our seasons. To bring anyone up to speed who has not been watching along with us, Phoenix Dawn Command is a game in which you level up by dying. All of the characters died in their mortal lives and came back as all-powerful phoenixes to protect the people from the creeping forces of the dread.
Dread.
But as you die in this game, you can also you come back stronger, up to about 7 times. And so right now we're all looking at these are all rank 3 phoenixes, which means they've all died 4 times. Once from mortal life and 3 times as phoenixes. And they are currently their wing, which is a sort of special bonded group of phoenixes that are all from the various schools, is currently hotly tracking down the chant, which is the manifestation of the dread of which they are most familiar. However, in our last game, there was a bit of a moment where 2 wingmates were sort of locked together in a room, and there was a bit of an emotional experience, and then they fought each other a little bit, and then there was a lot of crying in a corner. And they escaped and managed to make yet another incredible stride against the chant. But, so I'll tell you. Although, let's actually do introductions first. The 3 of you will introduce yourselves and your characters. Hayden, we're going to hold back your character introduction until we meet you, but you can tell us who you are.
All right.
Why don't you start?
Yeah, okay.
I'm me. My name's Hayden, friend of Sax. I used to be an animator. Now I'm a information security specialist.
Right.
Like Johnny Mnemonic?
Yeah, like that. Exactly. Right? Jane Mnemonic.
Yes.
And yeah, happy to be here.
Hey, let's point out to you, you have a hero camera right here.
Oh, okay.
So you don't need to turn for this camera.
All right, cool.
Yes, turn slightly less.
Yeah.
Chan?
Marva Chan, I'm a podcaster and writer, and playing Eerie, who I guess he will continue to be a dick. That's sort of
only time will tell.
That's his school, dick school.
Hashtag Dick School. All right, go ahead, Mike.
I'm Michael
Graduate.
Holmes. I am playing Ink, who is the member of the Shrouded school, and I'm your cranky older brother who would also still totally buy you beer. That's who I am.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, I am Tara, actress, variety performer, obsessive shipper, and I play Idalia. She's a devoted, and since we're keeping it kind of short, she's blue. We'll go from there right now.
Blue and gold and
Blue and
wonderful.
gold and glowy and floaty.
When we take one of our usual diatribes, we will take a break to talk about your circus art skills, because that's kind of neat. Maybe we should talk to chat about that.
All right.
So, in the last game, you guys were locked inside the fortress mountain, and you were able to find another fragment of the shards that are creating chant outbreaks, and you realize that the fragments...
It's part of a puzzle.
Yes,
I
they
know.
make a tablet of some sort, or at least they
We
make
love
some sort of
those.
physical shape. So you sort of started putting them together. Varia, your explosive bitter, who had been part of the sort of minor, emotional outburst, died in cleansing that shard, and thus was instantly teleported back to Pyre, which is the island that all the Phoenixes sort of work on. And, her crucible may have lasted for her several months, but she's reborn in the fire that dawn. The rest of you have to walk back. Which means that it took you at least a week or 2 to get back to Pyre. And when you arrive at Pyre, it's already very clear that something has gone down, and that the 3 of you are on somebody's shit list. And Winter, the Shrouded Marshal, who has a way of essentially finding out anything anywhere, is aware of what transpired in your on your mission. And you don't know how much Winter was aware of initially. But Winter clearly, at some point, confronted Varia about it, and may have learned more then. And it was determined that there might be some sort of rogue element in Varia, that perhaps she was, when she was resurrected in the flame, some spark of something wrong was in there, or maybe just generally she's the first ever encountered Phoenix that sort of just got generated in a way that was too dangerous. Maybe she's not safe to be around mortals. It's not clear. So she's been sequestered somewhere you don't know. And it's been made clear to the three of you that you will continue to operate, that you're not, this is all just sort of exploration of what's going on. And so you are, you're going to continue to do it. Your wing is not stopped. Beans and Kelvin are still out on a mission. You'll go out on missions, and they're sure they'll be able to return Varia to you very soon. They just need to run a few more tests. But meanwhile, you've sort of been benched very temporarily while they determine how best to proceed. And so the three of you are in your sort of Phoenix housing, which is, relatively opulent in, one area of of Pyre. And the fortress on Pyre. And, there are attendants running around taking care of whatever you might need, and there are other wings, training and doing what they're doing, and there's a lot of talk about the chant. And, most people you see are super duper psyched that you did that you made a great stab against the chant. There's a lot of talk, what could the tablet be? What does it mean? What is this going to construct at the end? There's a lot of high fives, essentially, for you. But there's also the few who know that, you are the first wing in a long time that has, someone, in timeout. And they're sort of, giving you a weird eye, maybe and remember, you already have that sort of, air of mystery as a sort of famous wing that hasn't existed. The flames that are inside of all of you have powered a phoenix previous to yourself, and so on and so forth, all the way back to when the phoenixes fought the Great War several hundred generations ago. So this wing has existed in some capacity, but it hasn't always had your personalities. This mortal soul of yours is unique. So, but whatever this wing is was fated in some way. So now they're like, well, oh wait, was it not a good fated? Were they fated to are they going to bring balance to the force? Is that what's happening? And so there's occasionally people. It's not so much as this, but There's there's occasionally people who are crossing the street. You're like, oh no, don't want to get around. Don't want to hang out with them. Anyway. So you eventually find out that the Council of Marshals is going to see you about a mission in the morning. But it's still early evening now, so you have the night to yourselves, and you can do any of the things that Phoenixes might do, including go, have a drink or whatever at a local pub run by a bunch of eager, wide-eyed attendants. But for now, we'll just see a brief moment where the three of you have sort of come together before the morning meeting.
What exactly did you say to Varia? And what did she say to you?
It's hazy. I was sort of blinking in and out during the conversation, but I might have suggested that perhaps some aspect of her personality was a manifestation of the dread, and she took umbrage with that.
That's understandable.
I didn't mean it in a negative way. It's something that's never occurred before. It's fascinating.
I appreciate your confronting it because it's, clear.
She's never tried to murder me. So clearly the problem must be you.
Oh.
Believe me, Eerie, I feel nothing but guilt about the situation.
Oh, really? Because you seem to have done so much.
I do trust her as well, but this is something that I think needed to be confronted. I think this is a good thing. I think she's going to come back to us stronger, don't you?
She's a monster. What's wrong with that?
And we love that. No, we love that about her, but...
There's no villain beyond redemption, Eerie. That's something my research has taught me.
Who's looking to be redeemed?
I feel
They're already dead.
I'm going to get a drink.
All right, and we'll leave it at that. Much carousing takes place.
Yes. Do
all
Phoenixes get drunk?
I think we enjoy it.
You can sort of like push the fire off for a bit, and it allows you to like sort of remain inebriated.
Great, and now back to work.
Yeah, it's sort of like synthahol, like, like an hour later you're fine. Or in your case, you're just like, you don't really burn a spark so much as you just sort of like open the door to where the sparks live in yourself, and you're suddenly sober.
Right. Hey, Spark, look over that way for a minute.
So you go out, and you don't. Phoenixes also don't sleep, although many of them do sort of recreationally when they're not in service, and you can dream. But so you come back in the next morning, and the Council of Marshals has sort of assembled. And again, as often happens when all of them are together, only Winter speaks. And Winter goes, they meet you basically outside of the Imperial Flame, so you're sort of like on the streets, and there are people walking around in various places, right? And you have at this point been told, your wing has been told to assemble nearby, so you're sort of en route there. So now we've gone picture in picture of you, like sort of walking, but we won't describe you quite yet. So Winter goes on. Well, this is certainly an interesting circumstance. And as the Phoenixes are relatively new in being reborn into this world as a whole, it's a possibility that our ancestors had to deal with this more than once. But in my 7 lifetimes, this is the first time we've ever had to take a look at a Phoenix as we are your wingmate. But please allow me to assure you again that this is only temporary. Varia will be returned to your wing. I know how important she is to all of you. However, 2 interesting things have transpired. First, we have a mission that Idalia is inordinately suited for. So we're going to have to send you out into the field. And secondly, one of our number in the Council of Marshals has suggested that there is another element we're not testing, which is your influence on your wingmate. So, as a way of essentially sampling that, we're going to perform a magical ritual that hasn't happened in some time. And she sort of turns, Winter, in her mask, turns over, and you see this, there's 3 or 4 members of your wing are sort of coming up with you. And so it's you, and it's Braid, who's one of your wingmates, who's your Durant, who looks like a sort of, like your average sort of teenage girl in terms of frame, which is kind of slight for a Durant, but is like covered in metal coils, like that look like sort of basically organic thorn bushes, but they're all made of metal. And then behind that is, Tokus, your elemental, who is like half of his body is just on fire, and. And again, they're judging Varia, but this is the world they live in. And maybe, you're sort of like chatting with Braid for a second about this, that, or the other thing that happened on a mission. And they summon you over, and they say, the rest of you can go, but Farrell, come here. And so what do they see?
So Farrell's like a waifish, like 16, 17-year-old aristocrat girl. She's sort of holds herself very highly, but not like pompously, just sort of confident. And she's very graceful and quiet, but she's a little, she has like a dark presence about her, like something's a little off about her. like maybe rather than chin up, it's like sideways a little bit deranged, and she noticeably has like a bright red gleaming skin across her throat and around her body in various places, and then also the bottom half of her right arm below the elbow is entirely red, which suggests some sort of like scarring from previous encounters, and generally like just sort of distant, but sort of like distracted by butterflies type of character. But that's Farrell.
So, Farrell here has been an exceptional example of a heroic phoenix in all of her lives in service of the Dawn Command, and thank you for that, Farrell. We're going to do something we haven't done in my 7 lifetimes, but apparently was somewhat common before. Cinder, the elemental marshal, walks up, and he sort of he's already sort of pre-prepping a spell. And he goes, this may be slightly disorienting, but I assure you it is very temporary. I'm doing the most Sean Grahamian, like, it's very temporary. I assure you it's very temporary, and it's only essential for us to perform this test. So Cinder gets the spell going, and you can see he has a small amount of Phoenix Ash, which is the ash of a final Phoenix death. Very rare. And this is a very small amount, much less than it would take to, say, join an Eerie or whatever. And he does it, and there's a sort of like coiling of smoke and fire. His beard is already on fire, and like there's like a phantasmal wind blows his sort of whole countenance and shelf back, and then there's a pop, and all of a sudden you can feel that bond that you have with your wingmates with Feral. Now
feeling at the back of your neck.
any of you who have a bond ability, who like know where your and in the effect of like where your wingmates are or anything like that, like if you have an ability that says you all like, I know that Kelvin, as I play him, has a thing saying he always knows how many sparks all his wingmates have. Any of those abilities currently apply to Feral, as do your abilities in that way apply to them. But you're also still joined to Varia if you have such an ability. You can still feel her. And you can still feel the rest of your wingmates, although they can, because you're like the sort of smaller party, you're pulled more towards them. So you can, like, as they're walking away, they're like 200 feet down, they all kind of like stop for a second, and like Braid looks back, and Winter just sort of dismisses them immediately, and they kind of like continue on, and they're little, and you know, long after this, whatever happens in this mission, you have a long talk with them about what a weird day you had. So she's basically joined your wing, and she'll be accompanying you. Oh, sorry, I can actually do some character. So now that we've bound her temporarily as a member of your wing artificially, she can join you on this mission, which I will now prep you for. And so they walk you now up into the Grand Eerie. The Imperial Flame is there, big giant column of flame, and there's candles going on and off in the various candle cold walls, and there's attendants running around, and someone's like, "We have a wing down," and blah blah blah. Like someone else is like, "Victory in Bardenford," and like, "Yay!" So I was like, I'm like,
it's mission control.
Yeah, and running back and forth. So this next mission will take place in the city town of Arkdale. Arkdale is a fortified town, well designed to withstand a siege, which is, as it happens, particularly useful as it is currently under one. Some time ago, a dread force that we do not fully understand began animating the dead in the area around Arkford. And this is a different manifestation than, say, the bones, of which I'm sure you're familiar, and certainly a much more actual animate dead than the chant. And this army of the dead has continued to grow over time. What defenses the city had were pushed back into their walls. We sent a few phoenixes to try and quell this situation, but they were just defeated. And by the time we were able to bring phoenixes back to bear on the city, it has been entirely surrounded by an ever-growing army of the dead. This is an unfortunate side effect of having been in some sort of total war as a culture for many generations. There is no end of corpses for this mysterious element to raise, and all who die on the side of good in the town are raised against their brothers and sisters. So, at this point, it's going to take a concerted effort from several wings to defeat this siege. But until then, because the siege is basically at its highest point, we're sending the four of you into town. Thankfully, there's an Eerie in the town, so we can send you directly in to attempt to help with fortifications and defenses, but also, because of Idalia's unique gift with mortals, to try and calm their nerves. Because this siege will be held out because the mortal soldiers currently involved are able to hold their line. If they break and if they crumble under the siege, the city will fall, and there's nothing that even the Phoenixes of the Dawn Command can do for it. So, Idalia, your unique gifts, and by at this time, to make a proof of point, a local village child has come over and just started bowing to you.
No.
And go, get out of here, get her out of here.
Easier
You
than
sign
I
this
thought.
for me.
Are you
Good
a god?
Yes, my child.
Good. You learned your lesson from Ghostbusters. All right, so
Picture pocket.
obviously, this will be a dangerous situation, and you're under orders to do your best to defend the city, even if that means getting engaged with these undead legions. You do not have to solve this siege. if somehow the opportunity presents itself, no one is going to scold you for that particular choice. All you need to do is make sure that the townsfolk have at least some amount of their wits about them, long enough for us to devote enough wings to take care of the problem.
Understood.
If you are ready to go now, we will send you through the Imperial Flame. If you'd like to take a second to get to know each other, you can do so on this side or the other, but we are going to have to fast track you through, so Cinder will need to be used. So if you can be somewhat expedient, that would be useful. Sorry again for all this Varia business. I'm sure everything's fine. And she's certainly performing amicably in the test that we're running. And at this point you realize that there's like a deep claw mark in the cloak of Winter, and she sort of wanders off.
Marshal Winter.
Yes.
If I may ask a favor.
Please.
Please give her my deepest apologies.
She said you'd say that. So she heads off, and Cinder heads over and sort of like waits at a polite distance so that he is not eavesdropping. So although I think
sitting here with my beard on fire.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a 10-foot guy with a beard on fire. Don't want that to make anyone weird. I'm just gonna hang out here. Also, I can hear everything happening on the entire island, so it kind of defeats the purpose. But I'll go like this. Fire. So, can I have one of these?
Yeah.
All right. Where did
I think
they
they're
go?
by
Oh.
Ken's foot.
And do you want to travel through, or?
I'll just say a quick welcome, Farrell. I sense you will be a powerful ally. I sense.
Let that one into your head.
And don't let that one into your head.
Y'all are talking to her, and she's just sort of staring off into the distance. Like, you notice she checked out as soon as Winter started talking about the bones in his
Oh.
bed, and she hasn't come back yet. So you're just sort of like talking.
Yeah, she's got something going. I think that's gonna be. I think it's gonna be
Is
useful.
it just
Trust me.
something about being, no. never mind.
Probably.
Oh, I'm excited for our new adventure, friends.
Yes.
Yes. Are you quite ready?
Yes, of course.
All right.
All right. So one by one, you travel through the Imperial Pyre. It's that wonderful moment of being incinerated, and then sort of being
Oh.
Most flammable time of the year.
And yes, and thank you very much to the fine folks in the movie version of The Watchmen for giving me the perfect visual of that. And then skeleton and. But thankfully in this version, like a circulatory system of you doesn't have to like wander through town for a few days ahead of time.
And yet we give ourselves just remarkable genitalia when we're reborn. We can do that.
Yeah.
What would that mean for me?
There's something very strange about the idea too that like the phoenixes are basically like however they choose to not choose to look, but like their whatever their like inner expression. So there definitely has to be like a full-on just naked phoenix.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Which is just you feel it's just like, okay, so we're gonna go and save those orphans. You can stay behind. You know what I mean?
But it's like a really body positive phoenix. It's
Right,
not like aspirational, but you know they're comfortable with
Yeah,
themselves.
no.
Yeah.
Give it a couple decades and everybody will understand.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
It's just some schlubby guy. No. Really? Because you think the naked phoenix should be like this Adonis or like some like beautiful like Venus, but no, it's you, huh? Like, yeah. I just feel better like this. My uniform is me. What's your talent? Well, and so.
Yeah.
Now, while we're transporting via flame, which takes a second, cut to like scene of like loading screen on a fire. It'd be good time to remind you that there are you can donate in the chat room and cash to affect the way this game works. I'm happy to say that in the next few weeks, possibly a little longer because we have to work out the details, we're actually going to be, we're going to maintain the flare abilities as cash only. So you can pay to give them their positive combat flares, or you can pay to give them their negative sort of social problem flares. Guests don't have to deal with that. until you get officially you get your own flares on your second
Oh, okay.
time.
I get
that
one
you
pass.
Yeah, well, no, just 'cause let's hope you can learn to play the game this time and not be like. And also now you have to punch everyone you meet.
I can live with that.
Yeah. So, but you can pay for their positive or negative flares. All those donations, of course, go to keeping this show going. And coming soon, those donations may actually have a second really cool purpose, but we can't announce it yet. You can also donate experience points, which you earn in the chat room, to give us redraws. Come to think of it, I think we have 2 or 3.
Sounds right.
We'll go ahead with 3.
Ooh.
Which allow them to draw cards when they need it, which is super duper useful.
Man.
And if you'd like, you can donate another amount of XP or cash for both these things to add environmental objects to a scene, which is also basically a redraw because when you use an environmental object, you get to draw a card, but it also gives them a chance to explain their use of it in such a way that they could get brutal damage or bleeding damage or whatever. So when you are making an environmental object, do think about things like if it's a giant tree of knives, that may give them bleeding damage, you know? If it's a strange sideways reference to Sean Graham's characters, probably not so much, but we'll definitely take it. A Shonovan Belter keeps falling on the ground near wherever everyone's fighting. I don't know what that is. I still don't know what that is. It's a character's brother. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, so feel free to dive in however you'd like. Yes, and as you send in those things, Nick, who is our chat captain today, sends them to me here on the screen, and we will use them as best we can.
Ooh.
Woo! All right, so you're all back on the other side of the Imperial Flame. This is probably weirdly, you've done a fair amount of fire teleportation now as a rank 3 Phoenixes. This is the first time that like you've come into one that's just like full on like a nest of activity. Discounting the one that you went to that was like currently under active siege. This is the like they're like soldiers running through. Like the weapon racks in this room are empty, which never happens. But there's there's like one spear in there, and as like the last of you arrive, like a soldier runs in and goes like
Played
ah! And then like runs back out.
And yet Mac would still find a way to use the weapon rack.
The rack itself would be the weapon.
Thread my
Soldier,
arms
take a
through them and I
2x4
just
off of
smash them like that.
So these are very good.
Cool.
The Not Your Father's. I'm not entirely sure I'm in love with that moniker, but anyway, they do the good brand.
My mother brewed my vanilla female.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, it's like, it isn't my father's because this product didn't exist yet. I don't know what you want from me. Like, you know how your father was always trying to make alcoholic root beer? Well, maybe your father. Why don't you start a brand? All right, so.
Your hipster dad.
All right, so the Flamekeeper is either not here. Certainly, they're not dead, or the fire would be out. But they're not present. They can go, several hundred feet from the temple, so maybe they're out doing something. But there are sort of like attendants running around, and they see you coming in, and they, for the first time you've seen this, they have this sort of like rote look of, good Phoenixes. Well, they'll survive for a while, and then this will continue to be bullshit. And so there's people running around, and as you step outside, you can see that the walls of the city have been like reinforced. They have like timbers tied together, laid up against the blocks of the walls. There are guards running back and forth at all times. You see young kids up on like walls who are clearly like being employed as spotters, who are like, they're moving that way, and they're like, you okay? And they're like soldiers running back and forth. There are like non-combatant townsfolk are like running with pails of water back and in every direction, and you can hear like the marching and sort of chugging of whatever this enemy force is on the other side of the walls, which are like 20 feet tall, but you can't see them currently. So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna find a way up to the wall and take a peek and see what we're dealing with.
You can full-on jump to the wall.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. In my mind, see, I'm pushing my way through soldiers and stuff, and I find a ladder, and I get to the top, and then the camera kind of pans up over my head, and I see...
Yeah. All right, it is a army of the dead. Sorry, I actually have them here if you want to show folks. They are risen dead.
Nick, let me know if I need to adjust this one way or the other.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Show that off.
Okay.
Can you slide it towards Sax just a little bit? Yeah, that way we don't get as much glare.
Okay.
So you can actually keep that there for now if you want, because I have another card today. So there are risen dead, and there are lots of them. And they range from like regular type folks to soldiers. The soldiers sometimes have weapons. The regular folks sometimes have weapons, or they're like carrying like a treat, like trunk or something, or like a pitchfork. And there's lots of them. There are, hundreds of them. And they don't seem to have any sort of leader structure, if you will, but they are moving with some amount of an intelligence behind them. So, like they're clearly they're taking like aim at areas of the wall that look like they're weak, and like sort of like like grabbing things and like smashing against it. It's not like 28 Days Later where like they're like piling up like like a bivouac or something over the walls. They're just they're full on attacking it. And maybe one in every like 50 is like an archer who still has a couple of arrows left, and they kind of like an arrow just or they're like they'll like pick up clods of dirt and throw it. But there's lots of them, and they basically fill the whole area.
All right, and then I jump back down and I come back to the wing and I say, well, it would appear that we have our work cut out for us.
All right.
Eventually, a leader of some sort. It's an older woman. She's clearly has some high position, although she could have been like the school teacher, and now she's the last one left.
Like the SG.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's Laura Roslin. She comes up and says like, all right. So you're the latest Phoenixes they've sent to help us. What are you doing, and how can we help?
Can you find me a large fortified space where I might gather everyone who's not really able to help fight and just give them some peace right now?
Sure. Yeah, okay. We have a town square that is currently somewhat defensible. I can try and bring everyone who's not currently in the, who's not currently on the wall can go there. Is there anything else I can get you?
What happened to the last wings?
Good question.
The army outside, they've actually pushed us back several times, and they this is like the second most inner wall of the castle that we're currently defending. I guess you're up on the top of the wall now with Ink, so she sort of points out, and you can see like in the far distance through like the field of dead, there's some like ruined wall segments, and she goes, we used to be there, but several months ago we pushed back, and over time some of the Phoenixes that have been here have been overwhelmed by these dead soldiers. There's just simply too many of them. They've fought valiantly, and I'm sure that in total hundreds of these creatures have been put down by them, but if they're not very carefully put down, they just pop back up later anyway. Basically they have to be entirely destroyed to be fully put to death. There must be some sort of something that keeps bringing them back, but we don't know where it is.
Entirely destroyed as in their whole bodies eviscerated?
Or at least made in such a way that they can't walk or hold weapons again.
Why aren't you setting them on fire?
Well, we've tried, but they don't, to a large extent, burn.
If they're wandering around mindlessly, then you have a bunch of flaming...
Moes.
Yes.
They also don't have the supplies to do like flaming oil or anything, because while Phoenixes can come in and out of the Imperial Flame, just out of, Phoenixes actually can't go back. They can't bring goods in that way, and there's no way to bring goods into the city. So they've been under siege now for months, and they basically run out of any sort of useful supplies in vain attempts to try and break out. Yeah, there were times, there was the last wing we had here, there was a breach in the walls, and somehow in the chaos, one of the local children got loose and ran off and ended up leaving the wall and heading out into the forest, and one of the Phoenixes jumped the wall and tried to chase them down and wasn't able to get to them or get back, and got pulled down by the dead and was destroyed before we could do anything about it. It can be quite efficient working together.
Sure, like any swarm of wild animals or insects can. What can we do while Idalia is tending to your weaker members?
Well, I mean, they make somewhat regular pushes against the wall, and occasionally they do breach some of the wall segments. But we have, thanks to having been forced to retreat from several segments, we have enough sort of raw materials that if we can push them back through a breach, we can usually seal it back up. So if that happens and the members of your wing can come to bear.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We shall remain vigilant for that.
When did the siege start?
I think 7 months ago now. We don't know what triggered it, but some of the dead came wandering out through the woods, sort of points in the direction of where the woods are. And, we engaged them initially thinking they were bones or something to that effect, and we were able to drive them off, but over time more and more came until eventually a force of them was strong enough to push us back inside the walls, and then it just went on from there.
How many of your people have they taken?
We've probably lost maybe 75. There was an entire town here. Now we're maybe half those numbers. Anyone who dies in the town, be they at the hands of these creatures or otherwise, reanimates shortly thereafter. We don't know what triggers the reanimation. Some will lie dead for days, some will lie dead for hours, and they tend to reanimate in groups or clusters. So just as the forces outside of our walls get occasional reinforcements, people who die in the city, if there's more than a few of them, will all come up together at a random time.
Have you tried sealing their bodies in the mortar when you rebuild the walls?
No. A novel approach. That seems like it would do something.
I mean, people can be ground down at a mill or
No,
all
this
sorts of
is-
places.
Your problem-solving approach is very unique, Farrell.
Absolutely.
I can see why you're an asset to your wing.
As we get new draws, very nice.
That was from Keeganis.
Thanks, Keeganis.
Thank you.
All right.
Nick, will you remind me? I can never remember. I shouldn't have. Everywhere and nowhere is the positive for Mike, right?
Let's double check here.
Because all time and no time, or no time and all time is the negative, right?
I believe so.
That sounds right.
We're going to double check on that, but whichever one of the two of those it was bought by Keeganis, and thank you very much. The great death god Keeganis visiting us in the chat.
I don't see a reward for it through Revlo.
You're going to have to look at the
find other one.
document, yeah.
So it is the positive one then.
I think it is. I
Okay.
think it is the positive one.
Keeganis, is that right?
We'll find out.
Okay.
But so when you engage in combat again, you can push yourself to, well, at this point, attack a large amount of them.
Yeah.
Not all several thousand.
I got this.
Bam, bam.
My mighty pen. Nice.
Slackers.
Yep. Everywhere is the combat
Rate is
one.
updating us. Everywhere is combat.
Okay, so that's so you can hold on to that.
Okay.
But you can like feel your tenuous connection to time starting to.
Well, I see myself drawing a pattern on the field, basically. Just like, okay. Just doing that thing he does. Anyway,
Because
yeah.
So what more does anyone want to do with her? Well, so they're gathering everyone into a sort of like into this area, women and children. Like what's that?
Something strange just happened. I'm figuring it out.
Okay,
No.
sounds good. So they, they're not. None of them are non-combatants. Like everyone fights, but except even the kids, like sort of support in some way. But these are all people who are currently either not on duty or who are like infirm or who are doing non-combat things that support the town. So yeah.
Well, everyone I think who can help reinforce you when the next guard needs to come in should be refreshed and help, and I believe I can help with that.
All right. What do you do?
And so Idalia begins to kind of emit a little bit of a glow and starts walking to that town center that she was recommended. And I think she sort of kind of emits like this vocalization, sort of a sacred, kind of like an
I'm imagining like a musical starting where people join in.
don't even get me started. All right. And so she kind of just,
Open the gates and seize the day.
So like she gets this vocalization kind of resonating through the ground, and kind of it sort of seeps into people and begins to kind of do this calming thing, and she hopefully draws them with her as she kind of just slowly walks to the center.
Okay.
And she kind of assures everyone that help is on the way. Who is my fellow phoenixes have faced such threats before successfully. And as she's kind of getting them calm, and like any sort of plant growth that's sort of around just kind of begins a little like seep, a little vines curling, and it's just sort of, she's doing that sort of soothing glow that kind of encircles everyone. Just kind of just saying different things that sort of, she's able to kind of permeate into their minds, the meaning, and just like feel the eternal within you and know that it cannot be destroyed. All right, and just other such, mantras like that. So she's just kind of trying to reinforce as many people as she can and kind of build them up for the next thing, give them some sort of hope and strength.
Make a healing check. This is grace or intellect will work just fine. You can use both, and you're at +5 because you have a specialty in healing.
Right.
And I'll give you +3 for describing it well. So you're already at 8, and give me the best you can in terms of healing.
Okay.
This is the first time seeing, Idalia's great Golden God act, and it is quite impressive.
So I'm sorry to interrupt for a moment, but we have something aired out in our chat.
It looks like it's the Twitch alerts, or it looks like it's the donation alerts box. If you look at the things in the scene, like not the scene, but like the little window next to it that has like overhead camera and everything else in it.
Right.
Is one of them donation alerts? What are those things? Just tell me what they are.
There's donation goal.
No, that's not it anymore.
Twitch alerts.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Try and restart that.
Yeah, just cancel it and restart it, or
Let me
Should I wait or should we?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
It's generally speaking, we're up. It's just like
Okay.
the chat window looks wacky.
Wacky.
Wacky. So using my thought coil talent, I'm going to burn a spark to add 5 to this skill spread.
Okay.
So that's 13. I'm turning my intellect card. Well, I guess this.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, sweet. I have that, and I have a savior, because these people have really been kind of freaking out. Their ability to kind of like deal is
They can't
being
even.
stressed. They can't even. Which means I get to draw.
And I'll give that an additional 2 more, so that's 3 for that.
Yay.
Damn, son.
I got traits card that I can't do. So, all right, so that's 10, 13.
They're 27 now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's
All right.
about what I can do.
So the waves of radiation and gravity energy. Oh great! Now I can't see the donations window.
No.
You're gonna have to call them out to me manually. It's all right. But there's a there's a great swell of energy, and you can see just everyone seems refreshed and calm somehow by your presence, and the flowers are blooming, and there's a sort of great moment, and like you sort of have them all like enraptured in that. Meanwhile, the 3 of you like sort of standing at the back here, like ah! And like way over in the other side of town, you can see like people at the wall are like throwing down spears and like making like get over here gestures to people, and then like and then there's like someone is like firing over the wall and falls out, and there's like soldiers running through, but everyone around you is like like and having a great moment.
We accept this. Do not succumb, but accept. All right. Do I get to draw after that too? I was.
Yeah. We're not in
Okay.
combat, so go
Okay.
ahead.
Sweet. Oh, God, how many traits? Okay.
While she's doing the great gold gardener bit, perhaps you and I should go sneaky peek into the forest and see if we can find anything there.
I concur. Farrell, what would you like to do?
I feel like if I see what's on the other side of that wall, I won't be here very much longer.
Noted. Would you like to stay behind with Idalia then?
It might be good to see what's there and let me know.
Okay.
Come into my womb.
So yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
do our ninja routine.
Okay, so do you want to, so you're not going to go check out what's happening to the wall, you're just going to sneak into the woods?
I think so.
Okay,
Because
and
your intention is to kind of figure out where they originated from, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like something over the wall is like actually.
it looks like there's a
Situation.
push going on.
Well,
at the
let's go
wall.
check that out, and then once we resolve that, because we're phoenixes and we fucking will, then we can sneak into the forest. Farrell, I think you might be able to help us in this regard. Would you care to join us?
Sure, why not?
Nudge, nudge.
All right.
All right.
So yeah.
So Idalia, you're not going to be far out from this combat for a while, but
right.
for the purposes of these adventures, there's 2 each of those.
We got the camera there, right?
Oh yeah, is it right?
Oh.
Is that on camera?
Can you see that, Nick?
Sorry.
Oh, the overhead might have gone down actually.
Wow.
Let me get the overhead here.
It looks like it's actually kind of more angled. It's right about here.
Yeah.
Going towards me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so you guys can check off with these if you want, but there's 2 each of all those things, and the weapon stacks are like there's like some pile of weapons nearby for people that might need them, so you run over the wall and you can see that there's like a large formation of the risen dead there. And they're sort of like marching towards the city walls, and they've actually sort of cobbled together what looks like an almost perhaps even accidental battering ram. Like there's a bunch of them are just holding a tree, like fell down, and they're sort of slamming it against the wall. And some sort of battlement that was like just off the wall has sort of caved in from the stress, and it's allowing them to sort of climb towards the top of the wall. So the soldiers that are up at the top of the wall are like actually fighting in like hand-to-hand combat with them.
Okay.
So
It's a battering ram, huh?
you guys can.
Yeah, we need.
One of you can have a torch. You guys can dive in because they're not going to engage you until you engage them.
Well,
All right. Well, I'm
Just
activating
laminated
Dream
a
Shadow, so
thing
I'm
there.
hidden.
Right.
Do any of you know what a steamroller is?
I believe
How
I
do you?
do.
Oh yeah, so remember, you're attacking all parties in this combat. Okay.
All right.
So
So
and just for clarification, it's like a few mobs of risen dead?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Like one on the battering ram, one climbing the wall.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're actually going to do, there's 4 total risen dead mobs.
okay. So I whip out my talon, flip up my the hood of my cloak, and I disappear. And then you kind of see the shadow get to the top of the wall, and then I let loose a mighty attack of stuff and junk. So it's been a long week, folks.
Stuff
You attack them with
Yeah.
your stuffed junk?
Yes. Hey, hey. Okay, so I've got 8 to begin with. And then Dream Shadow, if I'm attacking while hidden, allows me to add 4 on top of that, but then I become unhidden, which is fine. And then also, one thing I didn't realize about Shadow Dancer is that while I am hidden, I can add 1 card to my spread. So in this case, this Grace card is going to stand in for Intellect, so that's 12, 16... And unfortunately, unless I burn sparks, there's nothing else I can do, but I'm okay with that for right now.
Okay, so they have a defense of 3.
Okay.
So that is
16, so that's 13.
13, which is divided by 3 is
4?
4.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do 2 to each of them instead because you're basically like all over the battlefield simultaneously.
Okay.
So you're basically going to take half of each swarm down
Okay.
in
So
one fell swoop.
So what you kind of see is just this like weird sort of burst of darkness wash over them, and like every other one falls down or something like that.
Spooky.
And you sort of like reappear back where you were before.
Yes.
All right.
That.
Who next with the torch?
Oh, sorry.
Follow my lead. I'm gonna go along the battering ram and basically try and hamstring everybody on like the left side of them.
Okay.
So that the battering ram, comes rolling down on top of them, or get them to
Yeah.
let go.
Okay.
What have I got? Let's do.
Okay.
5, 8. Oh crap! Should I do something? 10, 13. Oh crap! Forgot to draw it.
Are you gonna be terrifying? Is that terrifying? Or are you just using that as a?
Yeah, I'm going to. How about a grotesque howl as I
Okay.
scream along the the ground there.
Okay. Terrifying, like Max Ruthless. I think your terrifying is pretty much a free. You're always terrifying.
It's a given.
You're well designed.
Yeah.
With a hook on a chain.
So 8, 11, 14,
Okay.
15.
Okay. So that is going to be so minus their defensive 3, which is not a lot. That's 12. That's definitely enough to take out that one. So that one half of the battering ram sort of like falls, to the side. Meanwhile, they are going to go. You're out there sort of with them at the end of your strike. So they're going to make attacks on you. So these are 2 different attacks of 6.
Okay.
Is ink not down there?
Ink is
I
still on the
popped
battlements.
popped back up on the
Oh,
battlements,
right,
but
you're sort of-
since he's kind of right in the middle of them, they're
But there's also going to be, that's 2 on you, so 2 attacks, 2 defenses of 6, and then 1 each for both of you, where like they've climbed to the wall of that battlement, and they one attack of 6, so it's a defense of 6. So small and quick, as per normal, from the Chan's Greatest Hits collection.
8 to take out, stop the first one. Let's do 6 for the second.
Okay. And those are melee attacks too, so those 2 swarms die fighting you because you still do your defenses back. Actually, no, wait, one of them's still up. The other one's dead.
I got a 7.
All right, you're fine.
And I've only got 3.
Okay.
Do wounds round up or down?
Well, what happens is
do you
they have a their attack is 6 standard,
Right.
so you blocked 3 of it, so it's 3. And it's 3 times 1, so divided by 2 is 1. So you take 1 wound.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, she's pissed.
So go ahead and take the wound because it'll add to your damage. Yep. All right, and do you want to take the torch next?
Yeah. So I imagine that she was just sort of staring down at the wall. Did anyone else get hurt, by the way?
No.
Anyone else
Just
get hurt?
you.
Okay. All right. So she's sort of staring, and one climbs up, and she just sort of looks at it as it like slashes her face. And she just instantly like checks out, and so
Checks more out?
yeah, right, a little more out. Like she was getting there. Now she has gotten there. And so
She's well over it.
let's see. So making an attack spread. So these don't count towards the spread total, right? Because it's a trait.
Yeah, if you.
Hunter?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I'll
How-
so
yeah.
the hunt. Basically, what I'm thinking, because these are climbing up from the battlements, is that like once one scrapes her, she takes off its skull, pushes it off, gets on the battlement, kicks one more down, and then jumps off the side of the battlement, sort of taking more down with
Yay,
her.
bitters!
Okay. You should tell people what your talon looks like.
Oh, okay. And her talon is her blood, so it's sort of like as it gets taken from her, it just sort of hangs out around her. Like the blood that went off of her face is just sort of frozen in space behind her.
I know.
Yay.
And on her way down, she might as well use it. So it sort of, as she's about to stab one, it crystallizes in her hand and she stabs it.
Oh, that's
into its
great.
head on her way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well
Wow,
done.
man.
I know. Okay.
Well, like,
I've got a magic pen.
like hard cut to
glow.
like the Council of Marshals, where they're like, "Are we being too hard on Varya? Do you think we're being a little judgy on Varya?" Hey, Nick,
Crazy.
Yeah.
if you right-click on the computer, on the main machine, if you right-click on the Chrome app, it should show there are 2 windows open.
I'm only seeing
Get to that one.
Oh,
Nice.
did you?
Oh,
So
and
see,
it's
I see
just
2. I
right
have
now.
stream communication and we got some sort of like
Catalog?
announcement that you fixed the
Cthulhu.
the other thing, the
Catalog.
local host one.
Yeah.
There's
Can you
an RPG
can you
called
get rid of the local
Cthulhu.
host one? Like can you once you bring that right click
Very
up,
curious.
or can you at least click on the stream communication one so maybe it'll come forward in the chat or forward in the thing?
Got a lot of draws. Nice.
How can I get that on my screen so I can affect that? 'Cause
Oh,
I can't see your screen.
just don't. Here, just right click on it and cut it. Like get rid of it.
Damn.
Like turn it off. Now turn it
Next
back on
attack, I'm
again.
definitely gonna have to use one of these.
And now I'm good. Now I can see you again. Because I couldn't. So if anything you sent to me since you fixed that thing, I haven't been able to see.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to read.
It's cascading issues. I have something else I'm going to send to you in just a second.
Okay, cool. All right, so you keep going with what is happening here.
Part of that, too big to
Continue.
fail because she's using her momentum.
Okay.
As she's coming down the wall.
So do either of those
So
cards
that's-
give you any special abilities beyond just letting you draw 2 cards?
I
Both
don't-
are 5 in an attack speed.
I know they're both
Okay,
5.
so that's
but I don't
10.
think, and then it's a melee attack, so 3 on the talon.
Mm-hmm.
And then also throw in another 3 and a 3.
Okay.
So that's 16 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
We're Sparky. Bump it up to
Ooh.
20.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to, but
You probably don't,
Yeah.
but if you want to do it for effect,
Yeah.
we'll definitely accept that. Yeah. All right. So.
Drop the mic.
also
so-
I want to play this video game.
Right.
Yes, it's like Bayonetta, only
Yeah,
significantly
exactly.
less
I
problematic.
was thinking my vision of her is if you see the female Titan in Attack on Titan, how like utterly brutal she is at all times, like it's kind of unfair. That's my vision of Feral.
I like that.
Fair.
All right, so you definitely kill that whole swarm as you collide down, but you end on the ground, right? So you basically fall down the wall, murdering them, and then you end up on the ground. So you would technically go next.
Oh, okay.
But you're at least 1 round away.
All right, I'm building up my army. I'm getting them all fortified for like the next round.
Okay, so you can spend the round to come out and join them, and if you want, you can make a gray spread if you have it. If you make a really good gray spread, you can like race ahead and get there faster, and maybe even get in there. And, or you can spend this round like making another diplomacy or healing spread to try and like rally the troops behind you. Either way, you're going to be moving towards the action.
Okay.
It's just whether or not you want to like. It's either 2 rounds away or 1 round away, or you're 2 rounds away with like.
I feel like I want to double down on like fortifying this next group of people because because we see that they've been pretty effective against fighting them for mortals.
Yeah.
And so I just want to make sure that they're like really ready to go for the next one. So as I look at my cards, I always have these great ideas and I'm like 1, 2. But since I just wanted to add too, because I feel like I have complained about like low cards before, but I will say that in the manual, I really like that Keith Baker kind of has like, you sort of have reasons for like, when you have a smaller hand, like, oh, you're really distracted, or, so there's factors for when you've got like this sort of rough hand that are really story applicable. So we're going to go with that right now.
I don't know if that guy's considered a career in like game design, but he's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
More rerolls.
Yay.
Those are from, I'm sorry, Night Steeds?
Night Steed, all right. And Night Steed also activates the horror movie teleport for Eerie. So.
Okay.
So you're running up to us? Is that what's going on?
Okay.
or-
Well, so I'm further fortifying the group of people that I've
Okay.
been like calming and soothing.
So make a healing or diplomacy spread. Either way, you're at +5. So.
Okay. And first I'm gonna add killer instincts to that because now that they're like calm and soothed, I'm gonna get them like ready to know that you can fight this. So
You got rage against
Yes.
the dying of the
we're
light.
greater than this.
Here, you can have a
right.
you can have a spark back for turning the for activating the mob.
Yay! Okay.
Torches are lighting all across the town.
All right. All right. So, and that means I get to draw a card. Thank Jesus. Okay. And so let's see. I got a lot of trait cards, so that was one. So I'm gonna use one of my intellect cards as Grace. So that's okay. 7, 5 from my regular. That's 12. Burn in a spark to add another to that. Oh, right. Thanks. And so 17, right? And okay. Yeah, I think that's about what I can do.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can feel them. It's an interesting thing being so connected to people's energy because you can feel them going from like, yes, all will be good to like, if we kill them, and they just get there's a sort of lot of they're like yay, and then the mob, and these are all the non-combatants too. The soldiers are like, where were we on this? Hello, did no one want to help us? And you're still like the lunch ladies running at the so that you're bringing a huge mob with you towards the end of the group. Okay, so that's gonna be your activation. So you can go ahead and draw back because you finished up. They're gonna go. There's more mobs have joined in, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mobs currently, and the two of you are downstairs, so you're both gonna take a mob each. And that is so it's 2 defenses of 6 each, and again they're still crawling up that battlement because that hasn't been sort of taken out yet. So you get 1 defense of 6.
Okay, I need a redraw.
Do it. Thank you.
I should
Okay, cool.
probably redraw, otherwise I'll die real soon.
I got 8.
Yeah, you're
so
fine.
Using untouchable.
Ooh, is this everybody?
No.
You haven't gotten
okay.
there yet.
Right. Okay.
Damn it.
So your defense is you get 1,
2 grace,
2 grace.
of which I only have 1,
Of which you only.
and it's a very small card.
Well, they can only do so much to you. This is how it goes in the world of bitters.
All right.
What's your defense? You might as well do something.
I have 2.
2. Okay, so
2.
that's going to be 4 and 4. So that is a total of 4 wounds. That'll be your remaining 4 of your remaining 5 wounds.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
As he sees the mob descend upon his wingmates, Ink is going to shout down from the battlements, "No! Step that way!" And I add 3 to that spread.
Okay.
Right.
So that is 5, which means 1, which is nothing. So you only take 2 from the one you don't defend.
Yes.
And remember, you don't draw up because it's a defense.
Right.
Okay. So take 2 wounds more.
That's fine.
And that's just
Wound
That old thing.
Just more weapons hanging off the side of me now.
Sure.
you are the disaffected teen of. Damn it.
Whatever.
Okay, so do you have defenses for me?
Yeah. 2. Blur motion, so I draw another. 2, 4, 6 for 1. You know what? Let's do 9 for the other.
Okay. Both. All right. So 1 is 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to take off 1 because you attack back, right?
Yeah.
So that takes off 1 of their health levels on that one, and the other one was 9.
Yeah.
So you'll take off 2 health levels on that one, but no damage to you. Congrats there. Are you piling on the percussive strikes?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're going to annihilate something.
I've got 2 cards left, so.
Oh, that's right. Well, they're
not
forcing
much.
you a lot of defense. All right, so who's going to take the torch?
I am.
Okay.
So I'm using an environmental effect with Shadow Dancer to become hidden, which doesn't allow me to draw a card, but I'm going to duck behind some of the debris where one of the bodies that Farrell has dispatched is. I'm going to burn 2 sparks and use psychometry and see if I can't get something off this fucker.
Ooh.
I'll get this one. Alright.
Take one of those sparks back for non-combat actions is great.
Okay.
And remember, you can still make spreads until you are.
Oh yeah, no, but that's my first move.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh, well, I guess I
Don't,
can't.
yeah, don't draw back up.
Okay,
though.
well, I won't be able to make much of a spread, but anyway, go
Hey,
on.
we got a lot of rerolls. You might as well take them. But oh, Braid, I love you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take care of that in a second. So you you touch one of the bodies, and it's like sort of like tracking shot. Well, just for fun, it's like Evil Dead style tracking
Yeah.
shot. So you're like and you're like going through the bodies, and like like there's a skeleton marching, and it like opens its mouth to say something, and you go in through the skeleton and out the back of its head where there's like an arrow hole, and you finally go back and you go deep into the woods, and as you continue into the woods, you end up seeing. Here, hold on. You end up seeing this, which is
Oh,
like
dear.
sort of. And the interesting thing about it, though, is that whatever this is seems to have died initially in a bear trap, which it can't get out of. So it's stuck. It's like tied to and so as it's there, like every few minutes you can feel, you're sort of like watching this again, like in sort of, shaky cam. You can feel it like sort of like pull upon necromantic energy to try and like pull itself out. And, out in the distance you see like, a hand burst through the earth and start sort of carving out and heading towards the town. And this thing seems to sort of not operate. You get the impression it does not operate under like standard consciousness levels.
It's just like reacting on instinct,
Yes.
basically. Okay.
And so it's just basically just drawing up all these dead. And the dead themselves reacting on instinct march towards the town.
Gotcha.
Don't go get it out of the trap, which is probably what it wanted to begin with.
Right. No!
Help! No, bye! Help, boys! See ya! Help! We're over here now! Fuck!
We're getting help. We'll be right back. Okay, so I react from that, and you kind of hear this sharp intake of breath from over behind a pile of rubble. I know what we have to do! And
All right.
I can't do anything else. So.
Okay. Passing the torch. All right, so one more. Okay, so this is on Eerie. Eerie, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mobs.
Because if they attack next,
They attack next.
I have no defense.
Well, I can help you with that.
Okay.
A little bit, at least. And don't forget, we also have redraws.
And do I draw a card for every wound I suffer with this?
As you suffer a wound?
Anytime you suffer a wound, draw one card. So do I
Oh,
get
actually, shoot.
one card for 2 wounds?
Sorry,
or do I
Reese,
get-
before my turn is over, I say, Farrell, don't worry, I've got you protected. And I'm burning a spark, actually, to put wound binding on you, so you've got a protective ward, so I can take a wound off you.
So yes, every wound is 1 card. So you took 2 wounds, so draw 2 cards.
More defense.
All right.
Or some defense.
This is why when it's like, hey, do you want, for your 5 cards, do you want grace or strength? And you're like, strength. And I'm like, you're going to hate this choice. It's a fun choice to have. That again, not to just like constantly talk about how great Keith Baker is, but like these sort of decision trees in this game are so great. Where it's like, do you want to feel good for this moment or for that other moment? Because you can't do both. Like you're only. And I also think too, like one of the reasons that it's so important to me to try and always have guests in to fill up the table is it's really designed to be cooperative because you have no intellect cards and neither do you. So
Sorry,
no
we're boozing.
If for some reason the 2 of them weren't here, like you literally couldn't make intellect spreads. So someone would be like, if only someone could solve this puzzle, and you'd be like, punch. Why?
We can break the puzzle.
Yeah. But in the same way, like, these 2 definitely need your help on the battlefield because they're just not that kind of phoenix.
I'm not that kind of phoenix.
All right, so you're going next? Okay.
I'm taking the rest of that battering ram. I'm gonna shove everybody who's left behind it up against the battlements and just kind of like
fortification.
Up against the
fortification.
Yeah.
So you're using an
I'll
environmental
do it.
element then?
I'm not
Yeah,
busy.
you are.
All
This is
right.
gonna be brutal damage for these things don't really care about brutal damage because they're so weak anyway. But like, this is definitely brutal damage.
All right. 1. 9, 19, 20,
22? All right, you catch 2 like divisions of them in this whole like activity and smush them all up against the wall. And just for fun, because I have dice with me and the dice of fate are fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do evens odds. Evens it's a good thing. Well, evens it's a thing. Odds it's a bad thing, just for fun. All right, 5 is odd. So you actually do some pretty significant structural damage to the wall. But I mean,
Put mortar in there.
yeah, but it hasn't.
Bond
It
mortar.
doesn't fall in now.
No, I was listening to you. I'm putting them into the mortar.
Smart.
You definitely jam them into the wall pretty significantly. But so those 2 squads are down. All right, so there's only 3 left. You two, all 3 of you on the ground, so it's a defense 6 for all 3 of you. They sort of spread out evenly.
Got 4.
Okay, so they
Actually,
have attack of 6, so it's 2, which is 1 wound to you.
well, hold
Unless
on,
he
hold
takes
on.
Did you use
Yeah.
I'm
What does it say in
scored.
your defense? Just as
2 grace?
Yeah. And you can use grace as strength and not the other way around, so you're kind of boned.
I'm gonna discard heroic at any time to add 3 to my wingmate spread.
So you're fine.
I, however, am going to duck behind the fortification.
Go ahead and draw. So that's out.
Yep. Bam. 7.
All right, you're all set. Chan, you good on a 7 or 6?
Sure. Let's do small and quick. 5, 7.
Your 7's fine.
Yeah.
Unless you want to bump it up to kill the thing that's hitting you.
Let's make it 11.
All right, so 11 minus 3 is 8, right? So 1, 2 wounds on that one from fighting you. Okay, so who is going to take the torch next? Is it which of the two?
For all.
Should, wait, is
One
the
for
Reaver
all
in
and
combat
all
with
for
us?
No, the Reaver is like a distance into the
Deep
woods.
in the forest. I'll tell you all about it on the way.
Alright, well, we should kill everything in the way. So, bloodthirsty, that's an easy one.
Yep.
And then I regain 1 health if I wound my target, which I might.
I feel strongly that you will.
And then never gives up, because
Yeah.
after collecting all of these wounds, she's still
Yep.
going strong.
I also think that's your default. I feel like
Right.
never gives up is the one you can use for free on anything.
I'm bloodthirsty, yes.
All right.
So I get to draw a card for that. And then we've got a 4 and a 5.
Okay.
And melee with the Talon. And then 3 from wounds.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So 3, 6.
Well, that's
We got 14 right here,
14.
So 20.
at least.
Okay.
Should do the trick.
And did you discard that for its ability, the never gives up, or did you use
No,
that in the
it
spread?
stays there. So when I
Oh.
die, I get 1 more turn.
Oh wow. Okay. So that is 20. So yeah. So that takes out an entire. You and your like fleet of blood weapons. Managed to take out an entire group of them. And now it is your turn.
All right.
And so you're just arriving now at the battlefield, right? And we all know from what's just happened here that like maybe the wing is going to head into the woods. So you probably shouldn't take these people with you. But then somebody in the chat pays for your hideous beauty ability, and now
Oh,
you can't
dear.
imagine not leading this army because they're all your servants and they love you. So like all these like children and people and like
You are
on crutches.
guests, everyone.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Braid XIV.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Braid. Love you, Braid.
Thank you, Braid.
All right, everyone, come around your goddess. Thank you, thank you. Right now, here's what I'm going to do, and here's what you are going to do. I am going to blast a hole into the ground, and you, my darlings, my preciouses, you're going to gather around and shove them into the hole, and we can isolate them. And my gracious fellow phoenixes, you're all so lovely. We can further destroy them that way. All right. All right. Oh, you're so darling. All right.
Go ahead and make your action. The townsfolk are definitely down for this plan. They're going to try. Like you can already see, like they're getting ready. Like an 8-year-old is like wrestling with a full-size male skeleton, trying to like push it into the hole. And then so go ahead and make your action.
And don't bump me while you're doing it. All right. I don't like to be jostled. Thank you. Okay. So.
I get like hard cut to the council of marshals, and they're like, maybe it's all of them. They're drinking brandy for no reason.
Can we do some research into this particular wing's history? Just want to see.
And Inga, while I'm doing this, could you draw a portrait of this glorious moment? Did you take that pen of yours, that little pen, and just kind of capture this moment for posterity? Okay, thank you. All right. Oh, that's a fun one. Okay. So
Stealthy?
Can you grab one of those? Do you mind if I have another one?
Can we have two of those items?
So first I'm going to use intuitive because I know that like I've got my army around me. I know what to do with them. I know how to control them.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it. I forgot.
Let's see. And I get 3 attack cards. Ooh. I'm going to have to use one of my... Oh, wait. Do I get to draw from this?
Wow, this is nice. Why
I
doesn't
do. Okay.
Varia have one of these? That's like so...
Corpse, flathead.
Oh, Jesus. That's aggressive.
All right. My attacks, though. My attacks. Okay. Are...
You're distracted by how awesome you are.
Okay, so too distracted to do a good attack. Okay, so I've got my intuitive control of my people, and that's 4.
4. 5 because of
5.
intuitive.
Okay, cool.
And you drew from intuitive? And you drew from intuitive?
I did.
I will count this as a use of debris because you're blasting a hole.
Yeah.
So go ahead and cross that off and draw a card.
Awesome thing. Okay. Body debris. All right. Okay.
When I flipped over, I thought that
Alright.
said devil's bodies. And I was like, curious to see
Good
that.
old devil's bodies.
All right, this is helping my blast. I'm trying to make as big a hole as I can to just like shovel all these dead bodies into.
Okay.
So that's
working out perfect.
7. And you said, wait. So that's kind of what I got.
You want to flip your talon? Or no, your talon's defensive.
Yeah.
All right.
I know attacks are kind of a. Yeah, that's kind of what I got.
Okay. All right, so what's the total?
So you said, what did you say for this one, or is that just kind of on its own?
Is it just 1? Unless it says it's more. We'll
It's just- right?
But it's 5 in a skill spread.
it's
so-
not a skill spread, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just 1 for now.
All right, 7.
7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll give you.
Isn't that 5?
No, it's not a skill
skill
spread.
spread.
Yeah.
So that's 8. So that will take out. Well, I'll give you the rest of the townsfolk basically do the. Oh wait, hold on. I have this.
The dice.
The innocence.
Aw. There's a baby in there.
Oh.
Yeah, babies are like crawling, by the way, like behind you, like to like fight for you.
Losing their baby.
The innocents managed to like push it over the edge, and so you do it. You pull a whole wing out, and they like push them into the hole, and like they're rolling rocks in, and they're like, "We're doing it for you, Idalia. We're doing it for you." And so I was like, "Is she kind of a bitch now? What's happening?" I liked her a lot, like moments before. I just totally imagine you drawn like the Wicked Queen in like some, like one of those characters that for some reason just has to wear cloth except around the whole of their face. You know what I mean? You're like, what happened there?
Whole things, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna switch this out. All right, so
Suddenly her
they go down.
talons.
So it's now their attack. So here's what's gonna happen.
Oh.
There's actually only one sort of now, mind you, there's like waves of dead forever. So if you were to just stand here, more would just keep falling on you. But right now in this combat, there's only one mob, and that mob, because they're basically currently like in melee combat with these innocents, is going to attack them. So any one of you can basically like push the innocents out of the way and take the wound. Otherwise, a significant. You gonna do it?
I'm gonna just appear right in front of them.
That's right. So that because you used your horror movie teleport, so they're like you see one of the zombies or whatever is like, and it doesn't until it's like looking at its own hand, like this is gonna be good, and then it turns back and you're right there, like fuck, and you're like,
It's Bob from Dawn of the Dead. He gets real sad all of a sudden. He's like, oh.
This is my favorite claw. I can. Oh no! And so yeah, so you have to take a wound because you like have to defend them in such a way that like you must put yourself at risk. But if you want, you can make a defense spread and it will do the damage back to them as per your normal attack. And you have one less health level than you should. You have 6. Okay, I'm miscounting
Can I
in my
get a
brain.
card for you getting hurt? Thanks for getting hurt.
That's the bitter we know.
It's not that bad. You get used to it.
No, Varya is so like self-interested that she doesn't actually take damage. She doesn't get cards for you guys getting hurt.
Yeah.
She only gets cards. She gets something else for herself getting hurt. It's all
I
about
want you to
Varya.
hit me as hard as you can.
How much do they have?
You basically, if you can put 6 down, if you can defend against this attack, you'll just. There's only 1 health level on all the mob right now.
Oh, okay,
So
well, that's good. I'm going to do Survivor, which I can burn 2 sparks to lose that wound anyway.
Mhm.
1, 3, and... Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me the sparks. I'll rule that you still like are wounded, but then like shrug it off, so you still get your card. So like they get you, you know, and then you're like, no, I won't let it happen.
I'm still pissed.
Okay, so this combat is essentially over. Like again, like there are other like there's dead like hundreds of feet out. Your everywhere and nowhere subsides, so you return to this time. I'm gonna give you one more actual like physical use of your teleport because you didn't get a chance to do it much in this exposure. So hang on to that. So you can do another horror movie teleport, and you are still. You're still the Ice Queen.
All right. I get to redraw though.
Yeah.
Okay,
The combat's over, so you can go ahead and draw back up. So the townsfolk like rally behind you. They're like pulling rings off the corpses and bringing them over to you as tribute.
This was my mother's. That was my mother.
Thank you. Put it on. No, that it doesn't fit on that finger. Come on. That's the one. Thank you. All right. Could you polish it for me? Just buff it out a little bit before you put it on. All right. Thank you. Well done.
I will point out that there is like if you want to take it depends on how you want to handle this. If you want to take the time to like dismember or otherwise destroy these bodies, there are definitely a few that like are still probably in a position where they might animate when the next like animation wave goes across. However, that will take time, and I'll roll the odds evens dice that determine if like more mobs arrive, or you can head into the city, or you can go out to the woods, whatever you want to do.
I feel like we need to track down whatever I saw in the woods, but that means leaving these people undefended. And I feel like with those coming down upon them, we should take care of these before we leave. Are we in agreement? Are we in agreement?
I do.
Are we in agreement?
Tend
I'd
to
like to
your
put
opinion.
some body
sure.
parts in between the bricks.
Good. So roll your dice.
Okay, well, actually, there's 2 ways you can do this. If Eerie agrees to dismember the bodies and burns a spark, he can do it fast enough that you won't take.
He's not gonna do that.
However, you won't be able to do anything else but that. If you choose to take the action and roll the dice, you can also split your effort so that like you can start repairing the wall with bodies. Repairing the wall, you can, and so we'll roll the dice, and so it's up to you. But if you don't want to take the risk, Eerie can do it.
No, save your sparks.
Okay, so here we go. So, do you guys want evens or
I mean,
odds?
unless you want to veto that.
One spark? Is it only one?
Okay. Evens or odds?
Evens.
Okay. And it's even. So you are able to destroy the bodies, reinforce the wall as best you can.
And I imagine as we're doing that, every time I touch a piece, I probably get flashes of whatever's in the woods calling more. Okay.
And there's like that one moment where like you're like, oh, down to one body, and then like you like feel the necromantic wave, and the body's like, I'm gonna help, and like just no. So the townsfolk are still and again, the non-combatant townsfolk are still attending you. I'm going to rule that because you are currently in Hideous Beauty, you can't make the choice to leave them behind. The wing can force it on you, though. So do you want to allow her to bring the People's Crusade with you into the woods?
I think that's a very ill-advised idea.
Who's going to bring me a roast pheasant while we're out there in the woods? Come on.
You say roast pheasant, and you see two people peel off and run back into town.
What do you expect me to do?
You get the pheasant, I'll get the fire.
Idalia, I am certainly not one to cast aspersions about questionable behavior.
Good.
Look at that. Look at those people.
I know.
They
are
would die for you.
prejudiced?
Do you want them to die for you?
Well, not necessarily, but I mean, everyone's time to die comes. I prepared them for that. Do you know what though? If I can remain in comfort here, so you can do your battles and feel better about my innocence, I suppose I can hang back. But
you could also, I would say that there are probably phrases or choices you could say that would convince her to leave them behind to do for her while she travels with you.
Let's wait for the roast pheasant. We can buff out all of your jewelry.
Yes.
Make you look very nice.
cool, all right.
And
No, wait. And I don't look nice now. Is that what you're
Very
saying?
nice. You look nice.
I think we're going to
now,
get
but we're gonna
sued
make you
by
look
Callista
very
Flockhart for your Cat Grant impression.
Eerie, would you just like to go with me? Should we just strike out on our own? Probably not a wise idea.
So if you, after a while, if you want to, you can wait some time. It's just going to mean that there are more dead out there in the woods. But if you wait a while, not only will the townsfolk have done enough for Idalia that she can be bothered to part with them, but the sort of the energy of your Hideous Beauty will fade.
Yeah. Send a flare. Let me know if I'm well rested enough. I will certainly come and help you.
Do you want to head out without her and let her catch up?
We were going to leave her behind anyway.
I'll do what I can here. Don't worry.
May you bring many good tidings to. Let's go.
Okay. There's you can see the people are walking around with the basic equivalents of the pieces of a throne, heading somewhere. Get over here. All right, so and by the time they reach some destination, you've calmed down, but you're still in town with them.
All right.
Good job. That's why we do these things.
So as we're all moving quickly and as quietly as we can into the forest, I tell them what I saw. There's something deep inside that is raising these creatures. I don't think it knows what it's doing, but I also don't, at this moment, know how to stop it.
Can we break it?
I imagine so, but I wonder if it'll be enough. You bitters and your smashy. Bloody.
I do it well.
Yes.
Does the blood just chill? Now that you're not in combat, is there a big blood
sort of
blade just
hanging.
milling there?
Yeah, and a lot of it's still in blood. I haven't used it yet, so it's just sort of floating behind
Just ready to
me.
just chop off and kind of. Oh my god. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're all you're both, by way of your school, quite quiet, and you're not necessarily big and trumpy. Although every now and again you'll walk by a tree and make a big slice through it as a blood blade is just branches of
accidentally sort of just lawnmowering.
So you're able to travel some distance. There are what could be considered patrols of the dead, but they're not really patrols. They're just groups of the dead that have risen and are heading towards the town. That if you don't directly engage in a big way, they don't seem to be bothered by you. So, and then some distance later, you come upon what starts to remind you of your vision.
Okay.
And you see, sort of some distance in the woods, you can see where the Reaver was or is. Now it appears though that some of the sort of on autoplay dead soldiers are building fortifications around it, which is their best equivalent of trying to help it. So they've gotten they're carrying logs over and trying to sort of build a small woodland fort here. There's quite a few swarms of the dead here, but and then just the Reaver by itself. And it's sort of, again, voicelessly, impassioned, points at town and, is mad. So, what do you want to do?
are there any environmental?
Oh yeah, let's get. Hey, let's do the thing where we can change this out now.
Tell you what, I'm gonna just run off. Real
You know,
quick.
I was thinking about it, so
Oh, yeah,
we like to do this in pairs.
Yes, we're gonna do
So,
that.
Buddy system.
That's what happened. None of the other games take bathroom breaks, but we play this drunk on a Saturday afternoon. Can somebody? Is there a towel to wipe this off with back there somewhere? Paper towel, or just bring one back from
No,
the.
but if they can bring one back.
Oh, there we go. I got it.
Oh, I am glad that there are people that can help other people. Because I would have been a shell already.
Yeah, the
Phoenix buddies.
Yeah.
gonna have to get some like cleaner, or this is gonna get eventually too dirty to see. But right now it'll work fine.
foggy.
Is it wet or ice? Do you just want some water?
Nah, I think it's fine. I mean,
Give it a little spit shine.
gross. So how is chat doing? Everything good in the world of chat? Did you figure out what was going wrong?
I just turned it off.
Okay.
Something happened, and those notifications are just airing out. And if I can't troubleshoot it without bringing it back into screen.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just off, and I'm watching the donation thermometer.
Okay.
Appears to be updating correctly. So if I see that change, I can switch over and take a look and see what the donation actually was.
Cool.
So everything seems to be mostly out of fire at this point.
Good. All right, I'm gonna put that down, and then there's only one of this one. I'll get a sec. And there we go. Okay, boom. Okay, so there are cut logs, the bear trap, and discarded weapons around for various environmental objects to play with, as you see fit.
Can work with that.
Take back the innocence here.
So for some reason I've got Lady Gaga's Bad Romance stuck in my head.
Really?
This whole encounter just kind of somehow incepted that.
Her latest video, everyone is for a friend of mine in it, so I watched
Illusion.
it. Perfect Illusion, yeah. She just like is like having like a fit in the desert, and they like sort of, and the idea being like she's like really enjoying like singing or something, but it looks like she's basically having some sort of like stroke, and then they like sort of bring in all these like dancing people, so it's like she's at some sort of crazy desert party, and at the very end you find out no, she's not. She's just in the desert, just going like perfect illusion, like having like a like 80s teen movie like dancing through the living room sequence, but in the desert, like not currently happening. Burning Man. Okay, so yeah, put your mics on,
Yeah.
crazy kids. That worked out pretty well, actually.
fun.
Congratulations on a great game last week, folks. Considering the equipment
against us.
bullshit. Yeah.
Boop.
All right.
Oh boy.
3.
A lot of
These are
threes.
slightly stronger.
Bless your heart.
Salud. I'm glad I'm back getting a massage right now, dude.
Yeah, sorry about that. I want all the blessings.
Take your blessings. Get out of here.
Hope that wasn't too loud, chat. And
I have my
then
headphones on, so I have no idea.
Everyone's
great.
dead.
Nobody's playing yet.
Perfect. Okay, give me 1 second to finish out this guy's card.
Cut logs, bear trap, discarded weapon.
Okay.
Actually, wait, hold on a sec. I mean, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
I've got something I want to do.
Oh, okay. I'm
doing what you're
into it.
doing.
Yeah.
You got something special in store.
Okay. Wow. And I'm gonna give a little piece of information here. So, Ooh.
Everybody say hi to Mac.
Aw.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, no, I'm gone. Darling,
You can't
come
get
in.
all of
I
us.
can't get over here.
Hold on, I'll take it.
Oh, there's a person.
All right.
We all forget that there's people to take pictures sometimes.
There you are.
Thank
All right.
you, sir.
Yay! All right. I'm just going to grab one more random piece of information here, and then we are going to...
Smash.
Smash. Smash as much as you can.
Slice. Chop.
Geek punch. It's all in the mind.
You wanna test me? I'm sure you're fine.
Nice.
I'll teach you, or sure to beat you. But nevertheless, you get a lesson from teacher. Now kick.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right.
That's how good I was.
Take off.
God, no, I shouldn't do that anymore. Punch.
But.
Oh.
Did you ever play the Spice World game?
Yes.
Yeah, it was very similar, and it was not very long, but it was enjoyable.
Oh.
Its way. Its way.
In a very PlayStation 1 kind of way.
You know what was a surprisingly good game was the Samurai Champloo game.
Never played
It was real fun. You basically had to like fight, and if you were able to like time your strikes based on whatever like hip hop track was going on in the background, they would you would like go into like dance fight mode, and it was pretty cool. And I love Samurai Champloo, so I just sort
Rhythm
of
hack and slash kind of.
yeah, basically that, yeah.
What system was that for?
I believe it was PS3, but I could be wrong.
So look how creative everyone is with their sparks. He's got this little fancy little,
Geometric pattern.
yeah, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, septagon? No, sorry,
This is not.
hexagon. Oh, here's about that. I feel like I should do something. Do something pretty with your sparks. Go on. Why don't you? I will
Very, very interesting. Okay, cool. Wait. There's one more piece of information I need on this cool thing that you guys are going to have to fight, which I like.
I'm guessing it adds more skeletons the longer it's alive.
Ooh, see,
That's-
that's nice. See, we're just doing spark art here. Don't worry about it.
Phoenix Spark Art.
That's a fun one. Oh,
It's totally my planning.
I was Boom Bunny Fierce Nuts.
Were you?
Ooh.
I don't
Boom
actually
Bunny
have a
Fierce
plan.
Nuts.
Yeah, no one
Really?
gave me one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, what else? I didn't need it.
They didn't need it one year or the other year.
Yeah.
See,
Just make it a mess. Just
I know.
Like, just,
I'm still in hideous
Controlled
beauty where I'm just
chaos.
like, I don't care. God, someone make something pretty for me, please. Goodness, don't expect me to do
All
all
right,
that.
so all right, so you're heading over towards where the Reaver is, and there's the armies of the dead in front of you. What do you want to do?
Is the Reaver still trapped in the thing physically?
Yeah, the
or
Reaver.
it
The
just
Reaver
kinda
is
like-
no. It's not psychosomatic. Like the bear trap was like fake the whole time. You're your own bear trap.
Bear trap is within him.
No, he's physically trapped, but there's no reason that the Reaver should be restrained by that. Like, it looks like the only reason that it has any sort of power over him is that he died from it initially. So he is having like that. It might actually be like the thin cord on an elephant sort of thing, where like he doesn't think he can break it, so he can't.
Okay.
But these things are definitely strong enough to break a chain.
What I would like to do, if I may, I'm going to do an observation spread.
Go ahead.
Or lore, maybe arguably, to kind of see if I've heard or read something about like a manifestation like this.
Okay.
To break it. So I've got smartest person in the room, which gives me 5. And then I'm using my Master of Intrigue, so that's 10. There's 13. Now what I could do, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I could use Heart of the Wing, which would allow me to draw a card, which is also bad. And then if anybody wants to burn a spark, that would add 3 to my spread as well.
Wow.
Okay.
13, 16, 19.
Can I sense from afar that like, oh, okay, the massage is good. Thank you. I sense that my wing could use some help. Could you throw a spark there? Okay, well they can't physically. But
Yeah, I'll take it.
okay.
So 22 also.
All right, back to the shoulders. Thank you.
22. All right. So, and what information are you looking for?
I'm just trying to see if I can observe some sort of pattern in this or recall some sort of information about how to stop this from happening. Break the spell, basically.
Okay.
Break the pattern.
Whatever this thing is, it's not far.
Oh.
Don't give up.
There we
It
go.
is now.
Sorry.
No worries.
One of so
Break the chains of love.
you feel like this bears somewhat of a resemblance to Bones outbreaks. It's not specifically one. It might be, a lot of the things that plague the mortal world. A lot of the manifestations of the dread have like different versions. Like they sort of like grow and mutate over time. So this might be like a proto Bones. And it, as a result, it probably has some sort of limitations based on its previous life that like are tied to it. So you feel like if you can find a way to interact with that, if you can find a way to interact with its previous incarnation, you'll have some way of defeating it fully.
Okay. If we find a way to what Sax just said, then that.
Go on. Again, one of you can take the torch and just engage because they're not going to start attacking until you attack them.
I don't
I
want
can
it.
smash stuff. Wait, or is it? What's the turn order?
Basically, we all get one turn.
And then they attack.
Well,
Well, no,
What's that
they have a
war?
certain speed, so they're gonna go after 2 phoenixes.
Okay, so we can.
Well, I feel like we should be trying to get him out of the bear trap, figure out if we can do anything with him at that point, or just completely destroy him, and then just sort of like trying to hold back the various and sundry forces. But like obviously, it's tied to him, so.
So we should.
either one of us
first?
can probably find a way to get to him directly, but I worry about us being surrounded once we get there.
Sure.
I can mow down them.
I'm not discounting your abilities. It's just, as you are such a new addition to our wing, I'd hate to see you leave this quickly.
I'll be back. That's kind of how it works.
Well, 7 times, yes. Well, Eerie, what do you think?
Do you feel comfortable setting up a distraction?
I
A
can be
distraction
A
of
powerful
murder.
distraction.
Murder distraction.
Massacrashkin.
What would you call that, chat?
Mass distraction. All right. So you're gonna take the torch first.
All right.
What are you gonna do?
Alright, I'm also using Dream Shatter to become hidden, by the way.
So ruthless. That's kind of the nature of my being. And I think.
So are you attacking some
I think
risen dead?
We're trimming down the mob here, and I think she spots the bear trap on the way in and gets like excited, and so because they crank to open them, right, and then they set, and then
Yeah,
when
you
they
gotta-
press the pressure plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So whoever's in front is just getting that like slammed on their head, and it just.
So this is the bear trap that is attached to the reaver.
Oh damn it.
I
Okay.
mean, you can tear it off the reaver, but it would,
No, we should probably leave it. Unless- All right. Well, I guess discarded weapons are
Go
coming
for it.
into the fray. She's just sort of walking toward them, picking them up with blood, like one by one, to bring with her.
Okay, go ahead and cross that off and draw a card.
Weird little
it
tendrils
for
of
you.
blood. There's your walking circulatory system.
Yeah,
So
and it all comes full circulatory.
Exactly.
Oh,
Go home.
I love all those things.
for that.
Okay.
Well, Jesus. Okay. And then, so we've got 5. We've got 4. We've got 2 wounds plus 3 attacks. So this is 5. And so that's 5, 10. That's almost 20. So 1 spark would make it 20.
Okay.
I feel like
All right, so they have a defense of 3.
I
You got any more?
Well, I was just thinking if I should spend more sparks, since I'm kind of a short fuse.
Well, this is early on.
But there's a lot of them, and once I get attacked, if I can take down
Yeah.
a set.
Well, do you have more cards in your hand in terms of being able to make additional
Well,
spreads?
I can't. I have 2.
No, but I mean, you can make other attacks if you
okay.
have more cards in your hand.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we'll start with 20. So that is,
Nice.
so they have a defense of 3, so that is 17. 17 divided by 3 is...
5 point.
All right, so that takes out one of them, basically, as you and your blood weaponry just, like, eviscerate one of them as you roll in.
It's a metaphor for puberty. I get it. Oh wait, that was Carrie. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I think that's part of it too. And then this next one, card-wise, I should save this for defense. So we've got the 5, and then the 5 from 2 wounds, and the talon, and we'll throw. So we need to do 15 to kill them off. So we'll throw 5 sparks on it.
Okay, so what's the total?
Oh wait, so they have defense 18.
They have a defense of 3. So you gotta,
Need an 18.
Need an 18.
Mm,
And you have
15.
15.
Oh, I've got this noble card. Maybe I'm sensing, oh my god, there's trouble again. I hope they got this under control. So I have this noble card. When I discard it, it adds 3 to a wingmate spread. So I just, I'll send them something their way. My god. Can't they just get this under control? There you go. So that,
Look at how noble I am.
Go ahead and discard that. The person...
I make one kneel and like slap, like bash off its head.
And we contrast that with the one that is like kneeling on his like all fours so that she can use him as a footrest back at the town.
Right.
All right, so that is how much you said you'd.
So with her it's 18.
18. All right, so there we go.
Whew.
Nice.
Do I get to draw? I'm so, yes. You're welcome. I'm always so.
You do not get to draw because they're currently in combat.
Okay, so I'm sort of from
Do I
distance.
get to draw since my first attack?
If your turn is over, then you draw.
Okay, we'll save these for defense.
All right.
That's probably smart.
Who is next?
Nice.
I am going to. I'm gonna take off that bear trap. I'm gonna release the dude from the bear trap.
Okay. You're able to run up there relatively easily. You can cross the bear trap off and draw a card. And you release it, and it like sort of, like shifts uneasily and clearly can move. And then, in the same way that it's been doing the whole time, like sort of looks around and then like points at the town, and like more dead come out, and it starts marching in that direction.
Oh, it starts moving.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that.
Just right past you.
Well, your turn isn't over. Go for it.
All right.
Fuck that indeed.
Release him from the bear trap, then kill him. All right, let's see how much.
The sages will say you are too honorable to attack a restrained opponent.
Blur of motion. I'll use the Memories of the Chant just for its regular 3.
Michael, there is a request that you post the selfie on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
Happy
selfie
to do
you
it.
took of us.
Well, yeah.
The photograph.
Yeah.
And that's Michael R. Holmes on Instagram.
That you post the sun growly on.
Burn the percussion strikes for 15, so 18. 18. Yeah, that's what I got for him. 18.
Okay, so that is -5, so 12. So what's that?
13?
13.
Oh, yeah. But
So it takes off 3, and then it makes an immediate counter reaction to you, which is a attack of 6.
Okay.
He swats you with his shield.
Fuck, he does. 9.
9. You're well fine. And he will take a wound from that.
Do I get to counter attack that, or is that?
No, he doesn't just go back and forth forever. Tick, 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 tick. You did damage on your 9. All right, so
Hayden, are you on Twitter? Or
Yes.
Instagram, sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, it's on the.
7th direction. The number 7, THDRXN. I think.
Well, we're gonna try. Hey, there you are.
All right, we're tagged.
Yay.
Okay, so good job. That. Are you going to pass the torch?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is going to the Reaver and the Risen Dead are going to act.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a Risen Dead mob for. Oops, sorry. So first things first is it raises a Risen Dead mob into existence.
Also, I'm hidden, just so you know.
Ah, okay. So that Risen Dead mob is going to add to the mix. Then it is going to attack you. This is an attack of 10. It's an all or nothing ranged attack.
The rings catch on everything.
It's all right. It's all right. You wear them well. I like that one.
What is the
Right?
Where'd you get that?
It's an all or
It's a
nothing, so you
3D
either
printed,
defend,
actually.
you either make a defense of 10
Well,
or
no,
you.
Oh,
why
kind
not?
of
What
shop.
is- what-
Oh,
what-
like a ectoplasmic energy sort of like coalesces into his hand, and he throws like a dart of energy at you.
Well,
That's
here's the
my
thing.
deal.
It's a ranged attack.
When it was a youth, he used to work in a bar, and
Yeah.
there were.
Did you die at age 8? What the hell happened in your town?
Are you from Las Vegas?
Well, every
Holmes have to put your money on the bar.
Yeah,
no, he was a runner. You know, you go back and
Sure,
take
sure.
classes and stuff like that.
you're a
you
runner
know.
now.
Yeah, the dark players would get drunk a lot, so they'd throw things at his head, and he was very good at
So
dodging them.
misspent youth, yes. And we all know where you're driving at.
I.e. misspent you.
No, sir. I don't like it.
I miss that horse.
I know. Didn't they bring it back and it was horrible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ransoming was like a little gross for my taste, weirdly enough. It was like a little bit too fond of its own butt jokes.
Yeah.
What was this from?
It paved the way
terrifying
for
and, stunning
the
for a
rich
turn.
tapestry
Okay.
than butt jokes in today's cartoon.
It did, and they used it a little bit. They wielded it a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, because it was so edgy. As opposed to low-hanging fruit. Anyway, if you want to hear my diatribe about State of Days cartoons, message me.
Crap, I'm only taking it up to 9.
But basically. No, sir.
I don't like it.
No, sir. I don't like it.
The gist being.
What do you need, Robert?
I need one more to avoid whatever this attack is.
You can't
Or-
spark it.
No,
It's
right.
Defense.
It's defense.
Should I draw
Sorry,
a
Amy.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Get that goodness. Get that goodness.
Oh yeah, and you used no dice. All right.
Get another one.
Oh.
Use them all if you have to. Make it rain with the re-rolls. The redraws.
So putting down 9 isn't going to help any, is it?
9 won't
I'll
help.
take it.
So hold it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel a mysterious
Oh, of course I do.
poison move into your body. Put them both in your discard pile.
Yeah.
And then. Oh yeah, put them down.
It's just your afflictions.
And
You all right? I learned it by watching you.
those 2 affliction T-shirts go in your discard, and shuffle your discard once you've done it,
Oh.
because they actually work when they come up together. So if they, the last thing you want to do is put them in next to each other, because then they're guaranteed to work every time they come up, which is way worse. So yeah, give them a nice shuffle. Shuffle your discard, right? Did you put
Oh, I
your-
thought you said shuffle into my
Hand?
yeah.
Or is that
into
your
my-
hand?
The rest of my cards.
No. Shuffle. Put them in your discard and then shuffle it, and then when you run through to your discard pile, it'll become your deck. See what I'm saying? It's no different than the chant. It goes in your discard pile, but you want to
yeah.
shuffle it so they don't go in next to each other.
Oh yeah, already did that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, so it sort of has like a feverish feeling, this like weird ectoplasmic poison that is like seeping into you. And that is the end of its action. All 3 of the Risen Dead, all 3 of the Risen Dead attack It's gonna be 2 on you and 1 on you, Chan. Defense 6, 2 defense 6s.
Okay. So does this count as 1? And you use it as the whatever's on the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's draw 2 cards as well as 1.
And that's because you, as a youth, would dodge.
Oh, it's a
hordes of the
misspent youth. Well, when. Ooh, that's a good one.
Otherwise, you don't get its ability. You can use it as 1.
Okay. Ooh, maybe you go first, and then I'll come up with that.
Okay.
I'm just dodging.
All right, you're fine.
Oh, God, so easy. Misspent youth, huh?
Tara, by the way, as you're like sitting on your like human sedan chair or whatever's going on, and like they're like people are dancing for your pleasure. You're starting to sort of push down the self-importance rage or whatever. But then you hear like a thud, and there's a huge crack in that wall where it was where it turned out stuffing bodies into it did not reinforce it as much as was hoped.
It's just so they don't reanimate.
That definitely didn't happen, but there's a and the wall sort of falls in and dead pour out. So you're gonna have to deal with some risen dead out here.
See, the problem is that you didn't sort out the Chinese people, because there was clearly a chink in the wall.
Oh!
See, I thought you were going to go for like Hungry an Hour Later.
Thank the holy gods you can make that joke, or we would be.
Yeah, I was to say you're allowed. That's nice.
All right, so I think this sort of relates into how she died. She misspent her time because when the time came, her family was brutally murdered, and she knows she's gonna get hurt, but she doesn't mind because she wasted her time and she feels like she deserves every strike.
Perfect.
Hey.
It's a very literal take of misspent youth. Like literally, I wasted my youth.
Dude, I got the same exact cards that I have. Interesting. And I can only use 2. And you can't use sparks.
Correct.
Not on defense.
So I have a total of 7.
So you're fine on that one, and then you get another hit for 6.
Right. Oh, well, I mean, I can just use this for 1. I have 1 against the other 6.
Okay. So that's 5, which is 4, which is 2 wounds.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, and torch passing, is it
I'll take it.
ink time?
So as I'm rushing by Farrell, I'm like, I got you, don't worry. So I'm burning a spark for wound binding.
Oh, thank you.
And then I'm going to run up to the...
She doesn't notice, but
No.
there's a thumbs up from deep down inside of her.
So I'm running up to the Reaver. I'm still hidden, and basically I'm going to try and attack whatever's inside him.
Okay.
So I've got +4 with Dream Shadow because I'm hidden. I'm using Astonishing Luck, which gives me another +4.
Wow.
So that's 8. I'm using this guy as Intellect, so that's 13. And because I am hidden, I can use another card in my spread, but that doesn't count anyway. So that's, what is that, 15? And then I can get to 17.
Cool.
So 17 all told against the Reaver.
17, all right. So it has a defense of 5.
Although now I am no longer hidden.
Okay, so that's 12. And so that'll take off 2, its remaining 2 rank 4 wounds.
Okay.
It immediately counterattacks you with a shield again. This is a defense 6.
I can do that. Pachang.
Okay, you're fine.
Cool.
Um,
Listen to me. It doesn't have to end this way. I want to deliver you into peace. Dude.
You can see that you're beating it quite significantly, but it also seems to be like activating the swarms of dead, so they go into a terrible frenzy as a result of you doing so much damage to it. So they're going to attack again this turn, and this is an attack of 9, and all 3 of you have to defend against it.
All right.
Sorry, all 3 of you and you, Idalia. The risen dead in the city runs at. I'm assuming unless your other option is to like duck behind your sycophants and let them take it.
Oh.
But otherwise, it's you.
All right. I
So
can
I'm starting to.
just make it.
Okay.
remember, we have these.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I would point out that the Risen Dead are essentially attacking recklessly, so they no longer defend. So they're definitely much easier to hit now.
It's attack of 9, you said?
Well, one of those might help. Just need one more grace card. All right. Well, not really.
Yeah, no.
Do I get? I'm so sorry that I never remember. Do I get to drop from earlier, from when I discarded for
You
the?
discarded during combat, so
Yeah.
until you've taken the torch and your turn is over, so no, you don't.
Okay.
But feel free to use a redraw if you need it.
Okay.
That's what they're there for.
For this, I'm okay.
Well, I can technically take 2, and you're taking 1, right?
I'm actually going to take 2, if I need to. Because I can burn a spark to take wounds. But I'm happy to take those 2 wounds
Well,
for
I can
you.
bring it down from 3 to 2
Okay.
with 1 and 2.
So as they descend upon you, I'm like, wait.
Wait, what number do I have to
9
get
is
to
the
get
target.
it down to 2 ones?
You would have to get it down to 4, which means you'd need 5. So the max I can do to you is 3. So you
Oh, so
might
I'm
be
not even worth.
yeah. So
But I can burn
that
the
means you're
card?
still gonna take 1. Yes, you can.
Okay.
You're still gonna take 1 because he'll take 2
Ooh-wee.
of them and you'll take 1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can take all 3.
No. It's cool because now I got
No,
1 turn,
no.
and then I can survive 1 more round.
But then you're dead.
Let me burn my sparks, and we'll do that.
All right.
Trust me. So put the green one back down.
All right.
All right. So
You
take,
feel swept up in inky blackness, and I'm like, oh,
take
cool. It's cool.
take 3 wounds.
All right.
All right. So and they're moving real fast and really aggressively. All right. So whose torch is it?
Oh, I haven't
Let's see.
defended yet.
Oh, defend. Yeah, defend 9.
Okay. God, what? I can't actually take another peeled grape. What am I doing? Oh my God! Oh my God! No! Go, God! All right. Okay. So
Made it about them, which is weird. You're like, oh my god, have I been bossing you around? How'd you let that happen?
no, for your safety. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't mean to chastise you. I'm just a little still caught up. My God, just all right. So I'm gonna burn 2
Being a
sparks.
goddess.
Just let me come along. I'm getting there. I'm not gonna be like this to you in a minute. I swear. All right. So I'm gonna flip my talent, add
Right.
2 to my defense. And I get 1 defense card under my current combat style. That's 4, so I get 6.
6. All right, so that's remainder 2, which is going to be 1 wound.
Okay.
And does that mean they take back? Are you using Shining Mirror?
I am. So they suffer 2 points of brutal damage for each
Okay.
wound I take.
So they lose 1 condition there. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And Eerie, you defended, right?
I did not.
Okay.
I think I need to redraw.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Didn't you have a really good hand of defense that you didn't end up using
No,
when you got the affliction?
no, I already used that. Last,
I'm hating it.
also use Shrug It Off to get rid of one of these. Because they're stacked together. So I did all the shuffling.
All right.
Hey.
Wait, I'm a dummy. No, I'm not a dummy. I'm a smarty.
9, so yeah, I got 8.
Okay. Well, good for you. So you are. Oh, that's 1, which is none. So you're fine. Way to go. Okay. So now it's your torch
Okay.
because you've defended. So
So you say I've got this crumbling wall.
yeah, the wall's crumbling. What's that?
Something came up.
Oh.
Something said.
Oh wow. Okay. Night Steed triggers everywhere and nowhere. So
And also solar flare.
and also solar flare. So now you so you're like, I'm so sorry, blah. And everyone's like, you know what? You have been kind of. No, you're great. You're really great. Holy shit. We were right to treat you as a god. Everything has proven itself to be true.
Oh, good.
You're beautiful.
So
Thanks, guys.
I
for understanding.
believe you put the burning condition on people if you hit them,
Oh,
and
okay,
stun
cool.
them if you do critical damage.
Okay, so
Solar flare. Gravity and light powers push forth from her golden cage armor for the rest of the encounter. Anyone she does standard damage gains the exposed.
Oh,
condition.
exposed. Cool.
Okay.
Anyone she does brutal damage to gains the stunned condition.
Nice.
okay, so we've got attackers, but we've also got a crumbling wall.
Well, the wall has let the dead in.
Oh.
So that's why there's attackers in here.
I was really hoping to deal with that. Okay. All right.
I mean, if you can deal with these dead that are currently in the city, you can try and get the townsfolk to try and put the wall back up.
Okay. So I think with my remaining goodwill with that and my new solar field, I'm like, all right, everyone, thank you so much.
Yo,
You've
we've
so
been through
kind,
some shit.
But now I need you to take that fortified strength that you're feeling, that confidence, and build that wall.
You're
Okay.
so emotionally manipulative. All right, so they're in an abusive relationship with you.
Oh, it's for their own good. I couldn't help myself. God. Okay. So, all right. So while I've hopefully got them sent off,
All right.
building that wall, I'm gonna attack and try to help out my team who's been dealing with this on their own.
Okay. So your attack is going to quote unquote expose them, no matter how, if you do damage. But because they're not defending, I'm going to give it just +2 because they can't be any more exposed than they already are. Like you can't reduce defense past that. So just go ahead and add 2 to this attack spread.
All right. I definitely need a redraw. Cool. Okay. So in my current combat style, I get 3 cards. Okay, I'm gonna use Pyromancer, and when I burn 1 spark, it makes an 8 attack for a group.
An 8 attack?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. Well then,
Burn 1 spark increases value. No, 8 if to 4, 8 if you're attacking a group enemy.
you are attacking a group enemy.
All right.
So you're going to do 8. That's 8 right
I've
there.
been so fortified by my wonderful townspeople who've been so good to me that I'm just like ready to
All right.
kick all the asses. Okay, so, and then I've got, because my other card doesn't go, that's 9, 17. And yeah.
18, 19 because of their being exposed.
Right, okay.
So you full on like you basically are like, I'm so sorry, and then like just turn a big group of them into like just dust. And you're like, see, I'm cool to hang out and chill.
I don't know what came over me.
And then I kind of feel like it's like do you ever see those movies where like they're on a submarine and there's a leak and they have that that piece of metal that they have to sort of like wrap around the pipe or whatever? It's like that. Like people are running out of towns with like basically like big like wall segments on sticks, and they're trying to like basically like stick them all together to hold the wall shut while like someone's coming around with like hammering them all in. So they're managing to plug the wall because you blew them all back. So you're fine. The sad thing is though that the risen dead are going to attack again because they now have a speed of 1, so they attack every other time.
Jesus.
I'm only going to make 2 of them attack, so they're going to attack Ink and Eerie.
Sorry. Because I got nothing.
This is a strength 9 attack.
Ooh, look at me.
I can do 4.
You can do 4. All right, so that's 5, which is actually just 2 wounds, which is good because it would have been 3 if you hadn't done that. So 2 wounds there.
I'm not taking any more of yours.
No way, yeah.
I
and I
got
get to draw a
3.
card.
You have 3?
Yeah.
All right, so 3 is 6, which is 3 wounds, and that's the max I can do. But they don't attack you, so whose torch is it next? Reaver attacks next after this action.
When you attack, can you lay multiple spreads?
You can make as many spreads as you can, so but you make them one at a time.
Sure. Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
I kind of have like a nice little combo here because there's lots of these little guys. They have no defense.
Have at.
And every attack I get +4, +3, so I can just do a ton of little ones.
Do it.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, do it.
All right. So we've
So
got.
this is what you have at you. So basically, these are their wound levels. Actually, you know what? We'll go ahead and knock 1 off on both of these because we'll say they took wounds from fighting with Eerie.
This is good. This is real good. Okay, so she's just sort of mob by mob, sort of decimating them one by one, using them, like parts of them against their friends, and just sort of Krav Magaing crowds to death.
Well, why don't you find a way to use either discarded weapons or cut logs in that scenario to give yourself
clearly there's a log like sitting there with a sharp end of which she like lugs over her shoulder and like inserts through like a long crowd.
All right, go ahead and draw, and you can do brutal damage in this attack for as little as you need to be.
So I'm already brutal damage because I'm every attack is brutal because I'm below.
Okay. In that case, I'll give you +2 on this.
Okay. So for 1, here's 2 plus 7.
Okay.
So there's 9 right
That's
away.
9. All right, so that'll take out this one. 1, 2, 3.
All right, we'll make another 9.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
10.
biggity bam.
That unfortunately you can't split the attack to 2 mobs, so that still just takes that out. Unless you want to do a lesser one.
Let's start aiming at other things.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So that's that. So both these mobs are still up then. 'Cause
Okay,
that's
they
better.
each have 1, and the Reaver's left?
Yeah, and the Reaver is still left.
Not for long.
Okay,
And so they're but the Reaver counterattacks every time.
he does.
A bit of response to like a huge attack. Think about,
Well, if I could kill it in 1 attack, that would be good. So let's aim at the Reaver now. Sort of decimated. There's a few remaining, but she's
Okay.
done with all this. There's not enough fun to be had here.
All right.
So these are all gone. And then we've got, we can do 2 of these. So 5 and a 5. And then 7, so 17 plus this Hunter. 'Cause that's kind of her style.
And this is against the Reaver?
Yeah. So that's 15 there, plus 7, 22.
No! You have to hit him here! So that's 25.
25.
oh.
Boom. That puts the last 2 down on him, and it drops to its knees. Its shield shatters, so it doesn't counterattack you, and it drops to its knees, and it like one last time sort of like points towards the town and then sort of falls forward. But what you notice is like the remaining sort of risen dead that are there in the combat now like turn back towards town and start like full on like sprinting towards town, and they're doing it with like absolutely no regard to like their own, like until they're running in like, you know, like a log like knocks one's head off and it like spins out of control. Meanwhile the town, and now it has become like the Israel scene in 28 days. Oh, in we both know.
World War Z.
In World War Z. So like
that
the
letter.
several hundred zombies outside the city are all attacking simultaneously and like climbing over each other, and they're very quickly up the walls. So what do you want to do? So there's no one attacking you anymore, and there's no one attacking you this round. So what do you want to do for one round
No
of
one I can
combat?
hit with my last 2 cards?
Nope. I mean, well, that's not true. You could
Kill those
you could
last 2?
Yeah, sure.
So
Okay.
we're out of combat
10,
then?
11.
You're basically out of combat for a moment until you re-engage it.
So what I'm asking is, can I redraw?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a 10 and 11 to knock those out.
Cool.
All right.
Wait, vey.
All right. Okay, I think I'm ready to do an attack, right?
All right.
Is that what we're doing? So I think Idalia's always just felt really guilty about the potential danger that she put her people in, and she's like, oh, thank God Eerie like dealt with that. Okay, so she's pretty potently concerned now. So I do kind of like a electromagnetic kind of blast that sort of is meant to disintegrate and not incinerate, so that they're not just these flaming corpses going. So I've got a decent attack here.
Yeah.
For me. That's 12 for me. That's good. Oh, wait. Oh, that's when I'm struck by an attack. Okay.
You're still glowing, so that's actually
right. Okay.
14 because they can't be exposed.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I can do.
Okay.
All right.
That does you. I'm not going to keep wounds on this like gigantic super mob. You blow a couple of them back, and you buy yourself a lot of time like on this wall, but their whole city is being hit from all sides. And like you can see like the few like barred doors that are to the outside are like already buckling in. Like there's a huge wave against the town. I should point out you still have a horror movie teleport, and you are everywhere and nowhere, so you can theoretically like appear there and attack. Basically, like future you before you run up there can already be attacking up there if you so choose to.
I think I might do that.
And Michael, don't forget that you've got Everywhere and Nowhere going as well.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh wait, well that's very apropos of his everywhere of his time slipping powers.
I'm going to use everywhere and nowhere.
But you just used that.
We stopped playing hours ago. Welcome to session 10 of I still have the chat on in the corner of my eye. Everyone fawns in Idaliation.
Who said that? Who said that? Okay. All right, that's fine.
I love words.
Oh yes,
Idolatry.
Idalia. Yeah, I will point out that there are like murals that before the town had to like literally grab everything they could and like try and survive. The remaining townsfolk have definitely converted to like a mild worship of you, and there was like a mural in the process. He's like, well, her cheek is kind of like, oh shit, dead.
Oh man, that's
I died doing what I love, loving Idalia.
The goggles, they do nothing. That's not really appropriate here, but that's okay.
I'm gonna try to be worthy of that. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Who is this?
Who wants it?
I'll take it. So yeah, I kind of blink out of the immediate area where the Reaver was, and I appear kind of in front of the group that is looking towards town now. Use Dream Shadow, so as soon as I appear, I immediately disappear, giving me a +4 to my attack.
And just fucking with them, all that much
And just
more.
fucking with them, yes.
Yeah.
So that's 4 right there. So there's 12. Since I'm attacking while hidden, I can add an additional card to my spread, so that's 15.
Cool.
And that's all I can do.
All right, you easily heave through them with no problems. You destroy a whole big swath of them.
Yep.
And then you're back where you started.
Yep.
So you can look forward to that happening when it does. But it did now, but it will then.
Cool. And then I have a plan for my next turn.
We still have a round before anything else nasty happens to any of you. So does anyone want to take the next action? Oh, you use this. That you two have gone, so we have this time over
I
here.
suppose we should get back to the action. Do we need to make a spread?
Well,
for
you
that?
can
Is that-
teleport forward, but you can make a grace spread to like run real fast and try and like get there faster. Otherwise, you might have to take a round or two to get yourself there, which sucks, especially for someone who loves to kill.
Right. Let's cut it down to 1 round.
Okay.
What target do I need to
It's
hit?
a 3-card grace spread of the highest you can do. The higher, the better.
Well, I don't really need defense all that much. So that's a pretty good one for me.
All right. 10. Okay, you race ahead. You just sort of like, you're sprinting at full force and like, blood is, coalescing in front of you and like blocking things as it comes by,
Right,
like
sort of moving
cutting
things out
off
of the
trees
way.
and whatnot. Yeah, and you're just all right. So you're doing well. What about you, Chan? So you want to arrive at town?
As this horde starts cresting a hill, all of a sudden there's just a bunch of cut logs that are just like falling falling out of the air at them.
Nice. Go for it. Roll me a spread.
Ten's all I got.
10's all you got? Okay, you knock a bunch of them down. They all get like, you hit them with logs like the logs took out the ATST walkers and they get crushed.
I just wanted an Ewok scene here. I'm good.
It's all right. And then you find a smaller version of you that's dead and looks sad at it, and it's a weird moment for everybody watching the movie. Where you're like, weren't these teddy bears? Why is this scene here? Deeply emotional scene. All right, so you... That's great. All right, so back to the top of the round. Now they're going to start sort of interacting with those of you they can get their hands on, because they've all basically at this point gotten to town. So any disruption of them is essentially like stopping them, which means they'll fight back.
Okay.
So...
And if I'm understanding correctly, I've blinked back to where the Reaver is, right?
But I mean, you were still running as well, like so you're occurring simultaneously. So you still probably have another round to your body is where the town is, but you can still blink ahead. I mean, you're everywhere. And you remember, you can also attack wide swaths of the mob simultaneously.
What if I don't want to attack? What if I want to go back to the Reaver?
Then do it.
That's what I'm going to do. But it's not my turn, so.
Well, any of you can
Well.
take the torch, so if anyone wants to.
Well, I'm always down to just cut swaths.
Okay.
I like that
Do it.
phrase.
Swath cutting.
Swaths.
Hashtag swath cutting.
All right. I just need one more card. All right, and I like that as you gather wounds, you can just make tons of tiny attacks that are built up. So, good luck, swaths. So, here's a 2 for one attack with +7.
Yep. All right.
There's 9.
Just tell them where they are, because we're not keeping real track. So just,
Okay.
what are you doing? So boom, like a pile of them go flying in one direction, and
You just sort of see like bodies sort of lifting in parts. And then this is ruthless. Just kind of my bag. It's 5, 7, so 12.
go for it. Keep going. More death.
Another 5 for 12 again. And I can regain health with that if I wound something, which I
You
imagine
definitely
I
do.
imagine
Yeah.
I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
And then another. Well, maybe I should save this one if something big comes out. Yeah, let's do that. And then, actually, maybe I should save big ones. Something scary comes out.
I feel like we already kind of hit the big bad.
Okay,
It's just-
cool. All right, and then an 11.
I mean, I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Another
I've been wrong in the
All right.
past.
And why not? Sure. And then a 12 again.
All right.
So we've basically got like 5 12s.
Okay.
This
Like
guy reminds me of
mobs.
Freddie Mercury for some reason. Just put a mustache on him.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I
And
like
too
that
big,
one.
Too
Yeah.
big to fail to justify it, even though I don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that she like builds steps out of blood and then like jumps on something and
Perfect.
smashes
Wow.
All right, so you take out like what is essentially a small army in like one series of successive steps. You are going to need to make a 9 defense though, because at least one. So see what you got in your 5 cards. At least one of at least some of the mobs are gonna get their hands on you.
it. All right, so we'll do a 3 and a 4.
All right.
And then suddenly Ink's there, just kind of like, and then he's gone.
So that's 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
So you're fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks to Ink being there right at that moment in time. You are fine.
So
All
after
right.
the battle, Ink's just kind of standing there for a minute, and you guys are like,
Oh,
Ink goes, ha! I'm fine. I'm cool. I'm chill. Don't worry
good,
about
we're
it.
good, good.
All right. So who wants torch next?
I think I have to.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because it'll be the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of like Fearl's whole mortar idea. I kind of want to encase these guys and just immobilize them.
Got it.
I believe I've used this before, but I think it's a good trick. So I kind of gather my people, like, everyone get together, all your medals that you don't care about, and just right now, just bring them up to me and bring them. So they bring them. We kind of like raise to like whatever
Yeah.
part of the wall we can get up on, and I just shoot a blast of like heat at them that melts them over the crowd.
Ooh.
And that's intuitive because I'm like, I know they got their medals around here, and I know how to get them to use it.
Yeah. All
Yay.
right. Take 2 sparks for
Yeah.
that.
Yay.
That was good
Brilliant piece of
All
melted
right.
metal tomfoolery. This is gonna stun that whole mob too, because it's brutal
the
damage.
second
Oh,
best
good,
use
good,
of melted
good.
metal I've ever seen. I
Hooray!
think we all know the first one.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I might not have the cards to really pull it off. So,
It's all right. It's brutal damage. That's nice.
I might
Okay,
be able to.
cool,
I actually
cool.
might be able to help you out.
oh, please. Okay. So this is Killer Instinct.
Nope.
I'm feeling, okay, let's add this because I'm just like feeling guilty about what I've put these people through too.
You're gonna assuage that guilt with murder.
With murder. And
Murder.
so I'm using that as a grace card. Yeah. You know, that's about. Let me see. Yeah, that's about what I can.
switch this.
Do I get to draw a card for anything? Yeah, okay, hold on, I'm gonna draw a card. All right.
I'm not gonna let you use that one in
Yeah.
here. Not hold it.
I was feeling reticent. All right. Do I get to draw a card for this one?
You get to draw a card
do.
pretty much for every
Yeah,
every
okay.
trait if you use it.
All right.
Okay, so
no,
what do you got?
oh wait, shoot, but it's intellect. If we're playing super fair.
No, okay, take it back.
Oh.
All right, so what's the total?
5.
All right, so
and then the
yeah, 5. Okay, so
solar
5,
clip.
6, 7, and then they're all stunned, and it's brutal damage. So you immobilize / scald / bronze a number of them.
my collection.
And that goes really well.
We call this sculpture Idalia's glory. If you listen very closely, you can hear the souls of the damned.
But in the same way, like even in blasting it out, like you feel like hands on your ankles as you're at the top of the wall, and like a swarm of them. So you can draw up because your turn ended.
Okay.
So you can draw up to 5.
Cool.
But like as they try and pull you down, this is a strength. This is a defense 9.
Oh. All right. That's okay because they're going to get hurt in the process. Okay.
Now I will say that in theory, the humans who brought you up the pieces of equipment are also in danger. So if you want to use Savior here, you can use it because you're actually like defending them and you, and it will count.
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So no, these are good people. Like that's what I'm all about.
These are great, and also they worship me, so they have a really high value.
And it just like I put a lot of work into them, and like making them feel really good, and being really good at making me feel good. So
Yeah.
Had this
All right.
dry rub that was just spectacular. Well, I'm not going to get that anywhere else.
all right. So that's Savior. This is defense, right? Okay. So I've got 2 for my Talon. I get 1 defense card, so that's 2, and that's 4. That's 4, folks.
Well, are you in Shining Mirror? You got to use
Yeah.
Grace in your defense, not Intellect.
No, but I mean I can still change a card to Grace.
Oh yeah, then why not use that 4 though that's in your hand?
Jesus, how did I not see? I like literally didn't. I don't know how that happened.
Ink put it in your hand minutes ago. While you were-
Okay, let's do
And
that.
I will 5 minutes from now.
So that's 5, 6, 7, which is 1 wound.
Okay.
So like you're able to like kick, like not only are you like pushing townsfolk harmlessly to the interior wall, like like pushing them down onto piles of each other, but you're also like kicking off the attacking Risen Dead. But they still like take they do the like really gross, again like Evil Dead style thing where like their fingers like dig into your ankle and like do a nice little like slice through.
I imagine
Alright.
my child gets away on like a gravity slide.
And because you're a phoenix, it doesn't really matter how dismembered your ankles are. You don't get
can deal.
hobbled, so you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You're
we'll
like,
catch
and
it.
you bleed gold, so
Yeah. And
all
they
right.
get for every
Oh,
wound
yeah.
I take, they get 2 points of brutal on top of.
All right, so that guy also dies in the. He's like, yeah, like.
Take it. All right.
For some reason, you have to like see like these mindless enemies. We have to personify them anyway, so that we can feel them get like rejected by what's going on.
Yep.
All right, so
All
whose
right.
torch is it?
I'd like the torch, please.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'd like to give these to you too. See, I am giving you this card.
Oh, thank you.
In the future.
Yay!
So,
Ability writes itself.
run, blink,
Yeah.
cut down the swath, blink, protect Feral, blink, back to the Reaver. And
Okay.
I'm using psychometry. To
All
see
right.
if maybe there's something in there that I can figure out how to just negate everything that's going on.
You feel like the Reaver's ability, like the Reaver basically has to sort of be like re-killed exactly to the nature that it was before.
Okay.
So if you like reattach the dead Reaver to the bear trap,
Okay.
and then you realize it killed itself and like it was trapped, it couldn't get out, it stabbed itself. You put the knife back in and everything else. You basically reset its death scene.
Yep.
It will disconnect it from the ectoplasmic string and it will deanimate the rest of the corpses.
And that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Good idea.
However, I'm going to wager that I'm going to say that because you're everywhere, the other parts of you have to make a defense spread.
Okay.
So different versions of you in time have to make a defense 9.
How many?
What's that?
How many?
No, just one. Just one
Just
defensive
one?
9 from like places you're encountering the various boo-doo-boo. What's that?
That's untouchable.
Ah, nice. You're
9.
well fine.
Yeah.
All right, so that will go off at the end of this round. So what do you have, Chan?
I am.
Or actually, wait, yeah, you
I went.
went. Okay, so it's just Chan's left.
Yeah, I am going through and defending every human out there that is being attacked with the really small attacks.
Okay.
So so like a 7 attack, and a 6 attack, and a 9 attack, and I'm putting a chant into you because that was really a dick move.
How did that get into me? How does the hideous beauty get in? It's not my fault.
It's the powers of the internal flame that is the chat room, the bouncing,
just-
burning souls of dead phoenixes.
Just sort of come and just
Yes.
okay, overtake.
Also,
me
Braid
now,
knows good TV, so she.
I didn't wanna.
And this attack, I'm going to drawing the affliction
Okay, so here's how the affliction technically works.
because I'm drawing it and I'm putting it back
No, oh, you are how you? Oh, you can put it back.
with
Okay.
misspent youth.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
When you eventually draw it, then we'll deal with what's going on. So you're fine.
Nice.
So that's 7. And then ha 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 ha.
I love when you're happy.
Shrug it off.
Oh,
Oh.
thank the gods, because I didn't know how to make that apply once you took one of the things out.
So 4 plus 12. So that's a 16 attack.
Okay, so again, so you and just seeing bodies dismembered and things, and we can do like a fry at a millionth cup of coffee thing, or like
It's 100. You've seen my shirt.
yes. I love when he puts like the dollar bill into the vending machine and it comes back out and it's just its own change.
Yeah.
And I go like, smells good. Smells good. Smells good. And the good beetle from Family Guy when they're like the burning down of the bar was like, we think it's this guy, and it's like a picture of a fire beetle like destroying him. Then later on they find out it's not, and it cuts to the fire beetle's house and he's watching the news. Good. Just love that. That and Nixon.
Yep.
Smells good. All right, so you do incredible amounts of damage to them, and you need to make a defense. Your turn is over, and you need to make a defense of 9.
Nice.
Bam.
You're well taken care of. Okay, so at the top of the round, you have put all the necessary pieces back together. You think, and then you're like, I'll just grab the sword, and then widening out, turning back around, out in one random section of the castle. There's a zombie with a sword going and you're well aware of it psychometrically, so you know it's not. You're like, as soon as you realize it's not there, and you connect to where it is, you realize it's back at the castle. But you've repositioned him and put the thing on,
Right.
and
Don't go anywhere.
Okay. So top of the round, what does everyone want to do?
Well, I think I'd like to attack that zombie.
Okay.
And
You can arrive at the zombie.
Okay.
So go ahead and make your attack.
All right. I'm not hidden, but I am using Dream Shadow, so that
Okay.
gives me not great. I can do 11.
Okay.
Wait, no, I can do 10. I can do 10.
That easily kills the zombie.
Okay.
The problem is you can't take the sword back with you unless you allow yourself to remain here and then walk it back. You can't.
I can't blink
you
out with it,
Bounce
yeah.
it back in time. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can toss it to Eerie or make it clear from here, and you can go back and await it. But you either have to fight your way back with it, or you have to have one of them do it.
Eerie! Find the Reaver. Take this. Put it in its hand. Trust me, it's all gonna make sense.
Time travelers.
And that's all I can do.
All right, defense 9.
Okay, hold on. I can do that. However, I'm gonna need y'all to clap for Tinkerbell
Okay.
because I'm using the Heart of the Wing. So if each of you wants to put in a spark, I'm good.
But of course.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, you're fine.
All right.
All right. Okay, who's next?
Well, it sounds like you need to get that sword back.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need to make a grace spread to run it back fast. You good? Okay.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. I've got a 2 strength, and let's hope that this is a. No. That's what I got.
All right. It's gonna take you a round to get there, and you're gonna have to make a defense 9 because you're running through the mobs.
Oh, but that's gonna be fun. Okay.
So you get to redraw?
I've got a survivor.
Oh no, he didn't. His turn didn't end. Oh no, he did. Yeah, if you want your turn to end, go ahead and draw up.
His spread for grace was
Yeah.
was a turn. Here we go.
7 and 9.
Okay. So you murder a bunch of them with the sword as you defend yourself against it. You will definitely get their next round. So this is the last round of attacks. Tara?
Sure.
All right.
So my people are still bringing me metal all this time. So I'm
She
like,
didn't say specifically to stop. I feel like I don't want to get her mad.
Like, word doesn't travel that fast right now. There's a lot going on. So I'm going to take Pyromancer, so I'm like really especially like ready to make things molten. And I'm burning a spark to make it 8. I'm glad that one came up again. And I'll throw in this is what I got right now. I'm going to turn this into a grace card, and I can't actually make a bigger attack right now. But I still got Solar Flare going on. So 8, 12, and and whatever I've got from,
Okay, that definitely takes a bunch of them out, and it's a defense. Now you can draw back up, and then it's a defense 9.
Cool. Okay. All right. 3, and a 5. So, okay, so for my talent, I've got 2. For my defense, I get 1 card, so that's 5.
All right, so here is the weird deal. There's a lot of ways this can go.
Oh, boy.
All right.
If you have less than 3 health levels and the chant, you'll die before you get home. What's that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Right now you're fine, but you're gonna take enough to drive you down to 3 if the wing doesn't chip in to try and help you defend. The other option would be to pass off some of your health levels through your passing pain. That doesn't work on undead, which means you'd have to like basically put it on citizens to like throttle back. So
that's against my whole MO. So.
Okay. So the other option is just to die, and in that case, that would be a devoted death because you were dying when you could have given it to somebody else, and you'll end out the combat because you'll basically die on the walk home.
Okay.
So does anyone have any way to get her from 5 to? Let's see here. You have 4. So you actually they only need to protect you from. They only need to give you a little more. Can anyone buff this at all? A touch. I just totally bumped my mic, by the way. I'm sorry, folks at home.
Nope.
No?
Got nothing.
Oh my god. All right.
Okay, take 2 wounds.
2.
Yeah.
2.
So
Okay, but
you destroy a bunch of them, and that's fine. All right, Hayden, your last
gotcha.
attack. Let's see how much you can destroy.
She gets 2 wounds, so I get to draw a card. Cool. All right, so I guess we're doing. I love this. It's +7. Oh, now it's +6. I healed myself.
This one is how Mac dies every game. She's like, if I heal, I'll be less awesome, so I'll forgo healing, and then like cut to her like why?
So we've got 3 for 9. I'm gonna burn a spark, make it 10.
Go ahead.
Am I just hitting swaths of?
Yeah, you're just destroying lots of these things, and they're gonna all deanimate in a few seconds anyway. But if you want to just, you're here for the day. Why not just
You know, game designer Keith Baker encourages players to take big chances in this game.
That's right. And to be fair, you could always really go in and then let them end you because why not rank up?
That's kind of like.
In fact, if
I
you
think
want-
she feels like if she doesn't, she has failed.
That's true.
Like failure is not not failing in death.
Well, that's well done. So here's the thing: is you could also then, if you want to basically, then someone in the chat asked, can you
Maybe-
commit suicide?
maybe-
You certainly can, but if you want to go an
Sure.
extra mile
Sure.
to make sure Chan gets it home, that would be gets the sword home. That'd be a death for duty, or you could, because you're not going to have a bitter death unless you. And then, well, what is your
Well, so
constitution
I was
failure?
thinking for a bitter death specifically. She sees sort of like one child
Yeah.
be killed, and that sets her off.
Nice.
And that's so she feels failure for that child. Like she
Perfect.
lost the one, and so she's just going all out, throwing all of herself into everything. And at some point, she needs a weapon and takes a rib just to so she's slowly tearing herself apart to make
that's-
sure that everyone else is dead.
Coming
And
this
that's-
autumn on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Feral.
And that's the Phoenix Dawn Command promise. If you guessed on Phoenix Dawn Command, we'll let you die, and you'll get to tell everybody what it looks like. Guest on Phoenix Dawn Command today. All right, so you okay? So you just go ahead and put your cards down.
Sure.
Well done.
And spark.
Okay, and burn yourself out as well,
wow.
which is good because then we don't have to have you attended spirit one of these guys on the way home, which is really
That
terrifying.
doesn't work out well.
So
So it's just
you,
gonna be you and me walking home.
well, no, for a good couple days of it, Idalia will be there until she
Okay.
whispers the chant of the next most recent hobo, and then drops.
We gotta kill the hobo now.
All right, so you die. You're like no, and just destroy them all. And then meanwhile, Chan's putting the sword back in the guy, and you're like, it looks great. Cut to the one remaining zombie. He's like, ugh. That's as much as you managed to spare everybody.
And then crickets.
Yep. In town they're already trying to make the giant gold statue of you. But that said, you also freed the town. You very much freed the town.
Didn't want to be a stupid death.
And this was something that they never thought you could do. So we're gonna cut forward in time. So you die and you come back out of the Imperial Flame, and we won't meet the rank for you unless you guest with us again, which
Hopefully
may
you will,
happen.
because you were delightful.
Shucks.
Hayden is only in town every 2 weeks, so we just have to hope we have a seat in 2 weeks. But if we do, we'd be happy to have you.
All right.
So you come back out, and when you come back out, the connection is severed to their wing. You're no longer a artificial wingmate to them. And they take you away, and maybe we'll visit this scene when you come back and kind of debrief you on what it's like working with these assholes. But it's a simple question. Do you tell them all the dirty secrets? Idalia did start a cult, and then she threw them in a hole.
No, she
Okay.
sees the best in everyone
Okay.
except herself.
All right, cool. So you explain that you did everything wrong and they were all great,
Yeah.
and that's fine. So
we get back you see what this bitch just did? I can't fucking believe this.
Give us the werewolf now.
you managed to get almost all the way to the boat before eventually the chant takes you down. But you find yourself, to give you a full-on devoted death, which is great because a devoted rank will really help you. Whenever you feel the chant coming on, you repress it and go chant into a corner or something so that you don't infect anyone.
Go home and chant in my pillow.
So you're gonna rank up.
right.
Which actually means you again get there ahead of them because
Okay.
they're on the boat while you come back up. And when you are restored, Varya is there, and they've sort of released her from purgatory. And we might visit that scene next week and see what she has to say about what it was like.
Eerie, remind me to write this down when we get back.
I'm not going to do that.
The two of you managed to get home. They, in their way, especially in Winter's way, they're very mysterious about what, if anything, they managed to garner from the whole experiment. All you know is that the wing has been restored. Varia is out of purgatory, or Varia is out of is off the naughty bench, and has returned to your wing. There's an aspect of this that like you would imagine that Varia would come out of this experience like super mad, but clearly like there was some sort of like quote unquote positive motion that happened somewhere while she was separate, which she can share with you or not. But so she discovered something or whatever. But so she's still flat out mad about it. But like there's that little spark behind her eye where like it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
And we're actually going to start. You're not out next week, are you? You're here next week.
I'm out.
You're out next week.
As far as I know,
You're out next week.
I'm not missing any more of these.
Okay. So that said, we will start next week with the how the two of you first reconnect. But generally speaking, you're all put back. You're restored to your wing, who are happy to hear the stories of working with another wing.
I think like she comes out with because before she was still just like a girl in a dress. Now it's like kind of tattery. It's getting like a little ghastly looking, and you can see the scars from each like
Nice.
red gleaming skin where she was hurt in the from taking out her own rib.
Your devoted, whose name is Doc, who appears to everyone what like their cultural conception for like a surgeon or doctor would be.
Nice.
So whatever whatever your people he always looks like basically like your like imaginary doctor. Like think of a healer, and so he is the like applicable gender and perception of whatever the stereotype is. So
Like
if it was
Robert Picardo?
yeah, well, is that your doctor?
It's Dr. Hibbert, I think, for most people.
Yeah, I think it is like that clip art, like sort of old white doctor man, like holding a stethoscope. Yeah, go like that. Yeah, that'd be the American equivalent. But like, so you see him as whatever, or her if it's in your culture, and so that Doc is very interested in what happened to you and what was going on, and then your elemental wants to know about the spell they cast, and Braid just wants to have a drink with you and like catch up, and they tell you about their wacky story, which for all we know will be a special edition of this game coming up sometime soon, so we might see more of that. In fact, Braid and Doc I'm going to lock into, but I might name the rest of the wing after more of you in the chat, because why not? We love you guys, and thank you for continuing to. Yeah, Sun Growler can be their their elemental is Sun Growler. And although that said, we have a 24-hour stream coming up in November.
We do.
Where we're going to be doing a one-off of a bunch of games, and none of them will have their existing casts. So I'm going to do for that show. We're doing a Phoenix Dawn Command set in modern day. So it's like a Phoenix, a wing of Phoenix is just sort of spring up like in New York, and what would that be like? So that's fun. So that's that. So yeah, so you're sort of, it's very anticlimactic. It's like, well, you guys are off the naughty bench.
Did I at least like save a bunch of people
Oh,
in
definitely.
my life? Okay, cool.
Well, first off, you saved the whole town.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it would have taken them months.
Remember that Army of the Dead? That's not a thing
Well, I
anymore.
mean, like when I was like, I'll take the wounds. They can't take the wounds. I just want to make sure
No,
it wasn't
you did
like.
great. You did good, and you it does, it hasn't quelled that weird spark inside you that turns you into a Disney villain, but it definitely was something.
We wouldn't want that.
Prepared.
Thank you, everyone who triggered all those fun effects.
Yes,
I'll also be able to
awesome.
tell
That
you
was so good.
more about that coming soon. I'll let everyone give you a little plug. So it's either a thing you want to plug of your own, or a thing that you want to plug that is plug or recommendation. Michael Holmes.
Oh, gosh. Somebody else go first. Come back to me.
I'll go, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, this is like you, I guess. This has caught me at a sort of like necessarily gig light time. That's okay. There are things working in the background, so it's cool. But I kind of wanted to add a fun fact, sort of, to you brought up the other week my old Batman cosplay group, Gotham Public Works, and sort of a related thing for you Critical Role fans. Taliesin Jaffe was our Mad Hatter for years.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So, and I'm trying to remember if that's how I met him.
The
That's how I
ubiquitous
met.
Taliesin Jaffe.
Yeah, that's how I met lots of amazing people, did a lot of amazing things. But yeah, no, Taliesin was our Mad Hatter. So if you're interested in kind of checking out that portion of his life, go on our Facebook page, check out the pictures in there, Gotham Public Works. So yeah, so I thought that would tie that together.
If there is a human being who is a shrouded phoenix, it's Taliesin Jaffe.
Yeah.
All right, Hayden, a thing to plug or a thing to recommend?
Just let's see, 2 months from now in Palm Springs, a couple of friends and I have started Palm Springs Comic Con, which is
Wow.
November 19th and 20th, which is not Comic Con Palm Springs, which sprung up after us 3 years afterwards.
How
Right.
fitting.
Right.
Is there a website or?
Yes,
location?
pscomiccon.com. PS as in Palm Springs, comiccon.com. And
Nice.
yeah, that's November 19th and 20th. We've got such an interesting smorgasbord of guests. Like, like a hip hop producer who makes video game music now,
Oh,
and like a bunch of Titmouse people.
Nice.
So I mean, it's sort of collating as we speak, and that's in about 2 months.
Cool.
Okay.
I know what I want to pitch, unless you want to go first.
Hey man, you do you.
I do some writing for Geek and Sundry, and I just had an article published today about this wonderful photographer named Cheryl Walsh, who does exclusively underwater portraits that are very ethereal and beautiful. And I'm sure if you're watching the show and are kind of peripherally involved in the geek community, there's going to be people that you recognize. So please go to geekandsundry.com and check it out.
Nice.
See, I got podcasts. Knowing is half the podcast, which is a G.I. Joe, the old G.I. Joe cartoon recap podcast. The Science Jerks, and what was the other thing? Oh yeah, a good podcast to check out if you're into politics and comedy is Politically Reactive with Kamal Bell and Hari Kondobalu. It's really good. You should do that.
I will plug, I think this is the first time this is being in any way publicly announced. There is a show on Geek and Sundry on Thursdays. It's either from 5 to 6 or from 6 to 7. It is the pre-show to Critical Role, and it is called Dick and Johnson, and it is it's an RPG that I am dungeon mastering, but there's only 2 characters, and they are both 2, like, you know, sort of lovable, unstoppable rednecks who save the world.
Dale and Tucker.
Yeah, they're Dale and Tucker. And it is in a game system that is called All Out of Bubblegum. And so the way it works is that each player has a number of sticks of bubblegum in front of them at a D10. And if they want to do something that is kicking ass, they have to roll more than the sticks of bubblegum they have. If they want to do something that's not kicking ass or chew gum, then they have to roll less than the sticks of bubblegum they have. And the best part about this system, although this game, Dick and Johnson, is mostly about they're 2 comedians, they're all funny, they're just going to sort of hold court. But the best thing about the system is if you run out of gum, you literally can't do anything that isn't kicking ass. So if you're in a car, you can't open the door, because opening the door would be chewing gum. So you have to kick ass your way out of the car. And then, like, if you want to get the valet to take your car, you have to kick his ass so he'll take the car. And it's a great system. It's very fun. The guy, like, you can read all about it. I'm sure Geek and Sundry has something about it. It's going to be every Thursday. I'm so psyched to do it. And also, of course, to be preceding Critical Role, which is a show that we all love. We're also, as you've noticed here on Saving Throw, we have a lot more content in the last few weeks than we have had in the last, I guess, month before that. We've got some great streaming shows. We're doing Tuesdays. We're doing a what is it called? Like Spookatacular.
Oh, the Spooktacular.
Boo Rama
Something.
Lemma Ding Dong. Fuck.
It's Jordan and
Mods.
and Megan.
Yeah.
Playing spooky video games, and it's supposed to be very entertaining.
I would actually watch that show like all the time. They're so, I'm just a huge, like, you know, Caves Callerman fan. Not the blues singer you just thought of, but the actual couple. But I think, but like that show's great. Tom Lommel's Disorganized Play is fantastic, talking about how to like do organized play in for like Adventures League. We're trying to get more shows in and be more places along the week. Feel free, of course, to email us or let us know what you would like to see on the channel, and we will struggle desperately to try and make it happen, and then probably fail. But we'll definitely do more shows. Watch Dick and Johnson. Watch this show more. We have a painting show tomorrow too, right? We're doing right here on this show. What time is that tomorrow? Anyone know?
Painting o'clock.
Yeah, it's between painting and o'clock.
Yeah.
Pigment 30.
I had known we were going to have something ready.
I want to say
No.
it's like 2, maybe? And I realize my mic's off right now, so I'm talking really loud.
2 maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right, right?
All right.
2.
See
It's
if
2.
actually up on the calendar.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It looks like Farquaad figured it out in the chat. So 2 o'clock tomorrow, they're going to be doing miniatures painting. A show you'll never see me on because I am so bad at miniatures painting.
Me too.
So bad. All right, so next week we have 2 more guests. It might be Beans and a guest, or it might be just 2 new guests. I'm holding Kelvin back until you guys catch up with him. So actually, you're a rank 4 now, right?
4.
So you're slowly creeping up on Kelvin, and then we're gonna be back with the whole regular crew for the first time in 2 weeks. So yeah,
Cool.
Thanks to Nick for subbing in for Sam Proof,
Yay,
and
thank you,
you're welcome to the chair whenever you want it, and we hope all of you are having a great time watching the show, and tell your friends about Phoenix Dawn Command, and yeah, that's it. I'm hot and tired, and I'm going home.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good night. Good weekend.
What he said.
Thank you.